Just a splendid October evening in the nation's capital. We come to you tonight from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. The Hogs are here, 218th consecutive sellout of a Redskin game. And tonight, an NFC Eastern Division battle. One of the traditional rivalries in the NFL. It's the New York Giants coming in with a 2-5 mark, taking on the Washington Redskins, who enter the fray with a 3-5 record. And good evening, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Pat Hayden. Welcome to RFK. Interesting matchup. Two teams that are struggling. But in the case of Washington, Pat, they're 3-1 at home. Their last 6 games decided by 8 points or less. Reason for encouragement, and they're particularly happy with their quarterback, Gus Frerotte.
Well, Gus Frerotte started this year as the backup quarterback to Heath Shuler. Heath Shuler got hurt in the first game. He came in and played well and has not looked back. And he deserves to be the starting quarterback because he has played well. He said to us yesterday that, hey, I feel like I deserve to be the #1 quarterback, and I don't want to give this position up for a long, long time. And his teammates believe in him as well. And Vern, I think he does two things particularly well. He's throwing those intermediate routes, particularly Henry Ellard, those 18 to 25-yard routes, throwing those very, very well. And the other thing he's doing well is running the 2-minute offense. They've been very good at the end of the first half, and at the end of the second half, he has given his team a chance to win in almost every ball game. They only won 2, but he's given his team a chance to win.
You know, your mention of Henry Ellard brings to mind they have him at the receiver spot and Terry Allen in the running back position.
They have a lot of offensive weapons, particularly for a team that's only won 2 ball games, but you start with Terry Allen in the running game. And, you know, a lot of guys have moved around this year in the NFL, but he has had a dramatic impact for this Washington Redskin running game. And the simple fact is, when he rushes for 100 yards, they win. And Dan Reeves said to us last night, we have to slow him down, or we're going to be in for a very long evening. And the other guy he's worried about is Henry Ellard, as right he should be. A year ago against the Giants, in one of their games, he caught 10 passes for 197 yards. He is still the best pure route runner in the National Football League. And the Giants' plan for him tonight, Vern, is to jam him. They don't want him getting off the line of scrimmage real cleanly.
This has been a troubled season for the Giants. They began by dropping their first 3 games of the year. 2-2 since then, but problems at the running back spot.
Well, you know, they have to run the ball to win. They are primarily a running football team, and Rodney Hampton has been their running game for the past 4.5 seasons. And this is a guy that really is not known as a fumbler. You see what happened in 464 carries without a fumble. But since he broke his hand, he has fumbled 3 times, but he's not playing with a cast on his right hand. But the Giants will also play Tyrone Wheatley, the #1 draft pick tonight, in every 3rd series.
Well, here's a real contrast between the two and the way they're going. If Washington is happy with its quarterback, that same cannot be said with the Giants and Dave Brown.
Dave Brown, plain and simple, is struggling. And as a matter of fact, in 4 of their 7 games, the Giants have not scored an offensive touchdown. And that means he is struggling. The whole offense is struggling. Dan Reeves pulled him in their last game, and he said, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to stick with Dave Brown and give him a chance to fight through this thing. But he said, one thing I got to get him to do, and that's to slow down on his pass reads. He thinks he's given up on his primary receiver a little bit too early, and he wants him to hang in there a little bit longer with that primary receiver.
If this game comes down to special teams, and well, it might, Pat, advantage Washington?
I think so. It has to be. You know, we pay a lot of lip service to special teams, but Brian Mitchell is a guy that can change the complexion of a football game in a lot of different ways. And kickoff returns, as he did right here against Denver earlier in this football season. And he is a 3rd down back. He leads the NFL in all-purpose yards as he runs through Denver for a touchdown here. He can hurt you a lot of different ways. The Redskins are going to receive the kickoff, and he's going to get a chance to impact this season right away.
And look what he has accomplished. 9 kickoff returns of 35+. That is leading the league. He has 2 punt returns of 50+ yards. He would be leading the league in punt returns, except he's not qualified. He is 2 punt returns short of the minimum. Well, we've got pumpkins galore as we await Halloween. And here's the kick. Mitchell, 2 yards deep, will bring it out. The first contact made near the 15, and that's a modest return by Brian Mitchell standards. The Redskins will take over at their own 17. Keith Elias makes the tackle, and here is Gus Frerotte, 4th in the NFL quarterback rankings this year.
Well, he is a big, strong, determined quarterback who is growing more and more confident every week. And Vernon, like we talked to him yesterday, he says, hey, it is now my job to lose. I'm the starter here.
7th round draft pick out of Tulsa, hometown Ford City, Pennsylvania, north of Pittsburgh. 1st and 10. Perrott has Terry Allen behind him. They try a reverse on first down. Brian Mitchell. Mitchell circles the corner across the 20 out to the 21-yard line. Now let's check the backs and receivers. You saw Brian Mitchell getting a start on first down. He'll come out on second down. Shepard replaces Michael Westbrook, who is out with an injury. Henry Ellard has been terrific. Mark Logan compliments Terry Allen in the backfield. Up front, the real difficult spot will be number 68, Joe Patton, left tackle. He replaces Jim Lachey, and that's a spot of concern to North Turner and the Redskins. On second down, play action. Perrott deep left side, has a man, it's open. Caught by Henry Ellard, number 85, first down.
And that's one of those intermediate passes that we talked about that he has thrown so well this year. He's a disciplined guy in the pocket. As soon as the ball he hits that back step, he's ready to throw, delivers it on time. But they're doing this awfully well. I mean, in Henry Ellard, we talk about him being a great route runner. You know, he's often covered going into a route, but when he comes out of a break, he gets this separation of 2 or 3 yards.
Gain of 17, first down at the 40. Double tight end set now. Play action again on first down. Perrott has a man open. It's Ellard again. Inside the 35, 34-yard line.
One thing about North Turner as a play caller, Vernon, we saw it in Dallas when he called plays and here in Washington. If you don't stop something, he's going to keep using it. It was Emmitt Smith when he called the plays in Dallas and Michael Irvin. And here, if you don't stop Ellard, he's going to continue to use them. Now, the tight end actually clears it out. Galbraith clears it out for him, and then Ellard just comes right underneath it. So the tight end set it up. A perfect throw by Perrott, and their second first down.
And a gain of 26 for Ellard on back-to-back plays, 17 and 26. Now, Terry Allen hit at the line of scrimmage, and he gets a yard, perhaps a yard and a half. It'll be second down. We'll check the defensive unit. Keith Hamilton leads the league in fines so far this year, 19,000. Most recent was a $12,000 pop. And in the middle linebackers spot, Michael Brooks. The secondary, Felipe Sparks, Jesse Campbell, Vincey Glenn, Tom Randolph at right cornerback. Second down and 10, no gain on the last play. Backs are split behind Perrott. Ellard right side. Perrott goes short, bobbled, intercepted, picked off, and here we go. Vincey Glenn. Vincey Glenn has Perrott to beat. He gets by Perrott. There are no flags. Vincey Glenn will score for the Giants. 75 yards.
And Vincey Glenn said to us yesterday when we talked to him, he said the opening defensive series will set the tone for the game. He said we have started poorly in most of our games. He said I want to get it started fast. They gave up 2 big passes to Ellard early in the drive, and then the tip ball, actually what a tip ball was, a missed pass by Mark Logan. It should have been caught, and a gift to Vincey Glenn.
That's the 3rd interception of the season for Vincey Glenn, and a distraught Gus Perrott on the sideline. Off the hands of Logan, and Vincey Glenn's going to admire his work on the Giant screen here at RFK Stadium. Acquired in a draft day trade with the Minnesota Vikings, said to us last night it was time to move on. He welcomed the trade.
You know, and Vincey Glenn has always been a guy that's been around the football. 21 interceptions the last 4 years. And that ball, just plain and simple, should have been caught by Logan. Should have caught it 2 or 3 different times. But Vincey Glenn gives the Giant offense a big lift, and Dave Brown by getting an early score.
Night, and what a beautiful sight on this October evening. Nation's capital. Giants enjoying the view a little more than the Redskins are right now, with Vincey Glenn's 75-yard touchdown return. That is the 2nd interception return for a touchdown for Vincey Glenn. He specializes in long-distance routes. His other one was 103 yards in San Diego. Picked up by William Bell for the Redskins. He's got some room. Daloiso knocks him out of bounds, but not before he gets out to the 48-yard line. It's Leslie Shepard, not Bell.
Well, you know, the concern they had for Brian Mitchell, and they kick it on the ground, and Shepard returns it. But let's go back to the touchdown play and watch how far Vincey Glenn, number 25, he'll come in the left part of the screen, goes. it gets bobbled 2 or 3 times, and that allows him to make up about, I don't know, 12, 15 yards, and then he's off. In Minnesota, he was around the ball. That's his 3rd interception of this season. And as you said, he goes the distance. I mean, this is a guy that scored touchdowns before off interceptions.
1987, his last one, his other one, 103 yards for the Chargers. The ball at the 49 now, 1st down and 10, Redskins. They hand it off to Allen. He comes right and is spilled after a 3-foot gain.
All 3 feet, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the thing about Terry Allen, though, you talk about a 3-foot gain. It was a gain, because Terry Allen is a guy that does not take many negative plays. I mean, he jams it up inside, he bounces around, but you see very few losses by Terry Allen. May not go 60 yards for you, but a lot of 4, a lot of 8, a lot of 12-yard type of runs.
2nd down and 9. Vince Glenn, talking about Terry Allen last night, said he's running like the Terry Allen I know. Played together in Minnesota. Here's Perrott going deep. Has Shepard not really open. He was pretty well covered by Randolph.
For Leslie Shepard is in for Michael Westbrook, who is hurt. I mean, as you're learning your way in this league, and it is Perrott's 12th start, his 8 consecutive, I mean, people are going to test you. They're going to pound on you. They're going to knock you down and see how you respond. And Perrott has responded well so far this year, but you know, they're going to test young guys. They're going to blitz them. They're going to try to do a lot of different things to him. And you know, again, his first game in Arizona, when the opening game, he handled the blitz awfully well.
3 of those 7 picks, though, returned for touchdowns. One of the many defensive touchdowns in the league this year. This one will be called back on 3rd down.
You talk about defensive touchdowns, a lot of them today. I think there was
prior to the snap, false start, right guard, 5 yards penalty, 3rd down.
You know, last year, in 1994, there were only 63 defensive touchdowns. Look what's happened in 1995, 48 already, including the one there by Vince Glenn. And we saw there was 3 of them today.
Do you have a theory?
I do have a theory. I think there's a lot more attacking styles defenses, a lot more blitzing, and you're seeing a lot of tip balls because of all this short passing. Is that good enough? Does that satisfy you?
Satisfies me.
That's good.
I didn't go to Oxford.
I'll give you more reasons if you want.
Here's Perrott. Goes right side for Eller. No, nice catch. What a dandy grab. Did he catch it in bounds? Yes.
Yes. That's 3 catches by Ellard in this first quarter. And you think about Henry Ellard, he does not catch those little dinky 5-yard routes. Everything is downfield. Now watch him work the sideline. First the hands, then that looked out. That was out. That was not even close.
That's not debatable.
That is not even close.
There's no reason to convene a jury. We don't need replay. Henry got away with one. Over 700 for his career, but that one was a gift.
Yeah.
It counts for a 20-yard gain. And no gain on the 1st down play. Mark Logan, whose bobble of a pass led to the interception by Vince Glenn.
You know, Mark Logan has had an eventful 8 years. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's caught passes from Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Steve Young, and been released or waived by 11 different teams. And he keeps bobbling like that at maybe 12.
Crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And Norv Turner's. James Jenkins comes in as the 2nd tight end on 2nd down, officially 9. That's Jenkins in motion, number 88. Perrott, they're throwing a lot on 1st down and 2nd down. Diving try, incomplete at the 18-yard line. Leslie Shepard, number 86. There's a young man who has been cut by a couple of teams, Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh, and signed on this summer.
Every ball that Gus Frerotte has thrown today has been catchable, and this one was too, to Leslie Shepard. And they've run inside routes to Henry Ellard, and this one outside route to Shepard, and a ball that he probably should have caught. Tough catch, but catchable.
Yes. 7-0 is the score. The touchdown, a 75-yard pass interception return by Vince Glenn. And it's 3rd and 9 now. Timeout, Redskins. Norv Turner.
Yeah.
He's not mad at his quarterback, I don't think. I think it's the officials.
And the play clock.
Play clock had run down. Are they going to wave off the timeout? Is that?
Well, that's what Norv was yelling about.
Yeah.
They didn't want the timeout. I think they had a clock problem.
Bob McElwee, so they will not call a timeout. How about that?
I don't see that often, do you?
Maybe the debating society is convening. Norv Turner in residence as its chairman. I've always thought of him as kind of a quiet guy.
Speech and debate. Yes.
Right.
That was supposed to be, or could have been, an option play with Brian Mitchell. Brian Mitchell, an option quarterback in college, and he had Terry Allen trailing him to run the option. You're going to see him hand the ball to Mitchell. Watch number 21 behind him. He's getting ready. He's getting ready to pitch it. He's getting ready to pitch it on the option to Terry Allen. There he comes right in your screen there. And they have done a little bit of everything over the years with Brian Mitchell. I mean, he's thrown passes, he's run option, he's played quarterback.
Now here's Eddie Murray, 16 of 21. It was his field goal against Detroit from 39 yards out last week that sent the game into overtime. This one curves nicely. Pretty good draw on that one. Nice little 9-iron by Eddie Murray, the 39-year-old field goal kicker, who's now 17 of 22 for the year. Sideline, second-year head coach Norv Turner chatting with his first second-year quarterback, Gus Frerotte. Looking at pictures.
Here's a guy who knows how to develop quarterbacks.
And then we went to the Grand Canyon. And then we stayed there for 2 weeks, and we went into West Texas. And here's the picture of Nancy and the kids.
There it is.
Yeah. This was sunset in the North Rim. I thought those were footballs. Out of bounds. Oh, boy.
Eddie Murray has struggled a little bit in the kickoff department. A bunch of short kicks in their last game, and that one out of bounds. It'll bring it out to the 40.
Dave Brown, who was pulled from the game in the second half last week. He was 9 of 18 for 82 yards at the time. Dan Reeves put Tommy Maddox in the game. Maddox had a really difficult time.
Well, you know, when they won their last 6 games a year ago with Dave Brown, I mean, he played consistently, and he made the crucial plays. He's not done that yet this year. He needs to play with that consistency and make the crucial plays.
Herschel Walker in the lineup. The handoff goes to Rodney Hampton. He needs 10 yards to become the all-time leading rusher in New York Giant history, to surpass Joe Morris with that figure. And he picks up a quick 4 on 5 on that play. Rodney Hampton joined by Herschel Walker. Aaron Pierce starts for an injured Howard Cross. And up front, Doug Riesenberg is starting at right tackle. Now second down and 5. So 5 more yards for Rodney Hampton to become the all-time leading runner in Giant history. Toss left, gets a block for tackle. He'll come up a yard short, maybe 2. Sterling Palmer makes the tackle, number 97, one of the 4 front men for the Washington Redskins. And the linebackers, Ken Harvey will line up in a down line spot on passing situations. And the secondary, Darrell Green, still a force at right cornerback. They get James Washington back tonight. He's missed a couple of injuries. 3rd and 1. 7-0 Giants lead. 7-3 rather. Walker in motion. Hampton caught short. That's going to be very close.
I think he got it. Yeah, I think so? On a second effort. I think on second effort, he not only got the first down, he may have the Giant rushing record. I guess that's redundant. If he got the 10 yards, he's got the rushing record, right?
I would never point out a redundancy to a man of your intellect.
Thank you very much.
I might point out a few oxymorons.
Yeah, dumb cows. Dumb cows.
There's the ball with which Rodney Hampton has become the all-time rushing leader over Joe Morris, Alex Webster, Ron Johnson, and a guy named Gifford. I know what happened to the other 4. What became of him? First and 10. Walker and Charles Way in the backfield. This is Charles Way, number 30. Hampton. Play action. Brown goes deep for Walker. And it's tipped and incomplete at the 10-yard line. Oh, boy.
Now, that was Tom Carter who made the tip. And Tom Carter in his third year. Now, generally, the Redskins are disappointed with their defensive play. But Tom Carter is the one who's played probably as well as anybody on this defense. Playing wide receiver tonight to give this team a little bit of a spark, but perfectly timed jump by Carter. Not only was he perfectly timed, he didn't interfere with him. That's a good play by Carter.
Second down and 10. Now Hampton and Walker split behind Dave Brown. 7-3 to score the ball at midfield. Now, where the Redskins drawn offside, Mark Boutte came across the neutral zone.
Now, you mentioned Doug Riesenberg was starting at right tackle tonight. He was injured before the game. Went out with he had re-injured a
false start, number 78 offense. 5 yards.
Greg Bishop. But Riesenberg was hurt in pregame warmups. We grabbed his knee. They took him in and rehabilitated it, I guess, and he came out and started. He's one of those guys that you don't notice when he's there, but you really notice when he's not there. He plays hard every single game, every play.
That cost him 5, and it'll be second down and 15. Charles Way, the rookie from Virginia, number 30, has checked in again. Callaway goes right. Sherrard comes to the left side. Aaron Pierce is in a slot right. Second and 15. Stunts by the Redskins. Brown feels a little pressure. Ken Harvey chases him. Callaway has the grab. That's about 3 yards short of the first down at the 43. It'll bring up third down.
Say what Chris Callaway did a very nice job of, though, was coming back to Dave Brown as he was scrambling around. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks a lot of receivers just kind of hang around and wait, and the ball's either picked off or knocked away. But he came back to greet Dave Brown's throw, and that's why it was a completion. You're going to see number 80. And again, offensively, this team has struggled. Their most consistent player has been number 80. Let's see the way he works his way back. The Redskins have played poor third down defense this year.
Very poor. They're next to last in third down defense in the NFL, giving up 50% of third downs. Here's Brown into the flat for Hampton. And they convert another. Rodney Hampton squirts through the potential tackle of Maurice Douglas.
It's hard to,
Stanley Richard, rather.
When you're 230 pounds, it's hard to squirt, Vern, but he is a powerful guy, Rodney Hampton. And when he gets those shoulders parallel and square, I mean, he is hard to stop without, gaining a couple of extra yards after the hit. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage or the first down marker, but he kind of drove through for it.
Under the 6-minute mark, first and 10 Giants, they lead 7-3. Their touchdown came on a 75-yard interception by Benzie Graham. Here's Hampton. Down to the 35-yard line. Hampton now with 4 carries for 14 yards.
He is not the fastest back in the league. He's not the most elusive back, but he will pound you and pound you and pound you, and I think be at his best in the fourth quarter, late in the ball game.
Really a problem with this fumbleitis that I guess in part was caused by the broken hand.
Yeah, three of his 4 fumbles this year have come from, they said, the broken right hand.
Each of the last 3 games. Here's Brown. Michael Sherrard, number 88, who has not had a great season.
Well, I think the wide receivers of the Giants are an underutilized asset. I mean, we saw Callaway on one play, Michael Sherrard. These guys are one of the strengths of this offensive play. They run Hampton, you run Hampton, you run Hampton, then you fake it to them. And when you do that, there's a lot of room where linebackers are supposed to take away plays. But if you can run the ball well, and the Giants have to run well to win, it sets up those kind of routes.
That's a gain of 20 and a first down at the 15. Backs in the odd, 2 wide receivers left side. Hampton over his left tackle, John Elliott. And this is good for a 5-yard gain down near the 10-yard line. So on their first offensive series, the Giants are moving the ball quite well.
And just as we said at the very beginning of this broadcast, is that if they're going to win this football game, they have to run the ball well. They're primarily a running team, and they have done this in their opening drive. And their defense gave them the lead.
So the red zone offense of the Giants, a red zone defense for Washington. But average. Hampton. Mark is Patton the Mundo's number 53 making the tackle. And that'll be...
He does not go down easily, does he? And I think if you're going to slow Rodney Hampton down, you have to do it early in his run, because once he gets some momentum going, that 230 pounds moving, he is tough to tackle. The thing about Rodney Hampton, he's always keeping his legs moving. He's got the good body lean. That's a pretty good tackle. They didn't let him get too many yards after that hit, because generally he's going to drive you for an extra couple yards.
3rd and 1, double tight end set. Hampton behind his tackle, John Elliott. Quarterback sneak, Dave Brown. It'll be 1st and goal.
That was pretty easy, wasn't it?
Well, Dave Brown was telling us last night that after he looked at his stats last week, he said they weren't all that bad. He got pulled. He said, I felt like Bart Starr. There, he looked like Bart Starr.
Well, he meant by Bart Starr in comparison to all the other quarterbacks in that game.
Right.
Some of the other numbers. But it looked like, yeah, the frozen tundra, the little quarterback sneak there, didn't it? This is too with the Giants, when you're struggling, you need to come away with touchdowns. And, you know, you got a 1st down now. They need to stick this one into the end zone.
Backs in the eye. Herschel Walker in a slot to the right. Hampton up the middle. Fumble.
Oh, my.
Loose ball. Touchback. How about that? 4 fumbles, 4 games for a guy who had gone over 400 carries without one.
464 without a fumble. And the 4th lost fumble. His 5th fumble of the year, but the 4th lost fumble of the year. And nobody hit him. It just came right out. That's on Rodney Hampton.
Broken hand didn't cause it.
Rodney Hampton, he was saying as he came off the field, he didn't get the ball, but as you can see, Dave Brown has a perfect handoff right in the numbers. So he's got it secured there. It just comes out right there. It was a perfect handoff by Dave Brown, and that's where he's saying, hey, I didn't have it, didn't ever get the ball, but he did.
After that turnover, it's 1st down at the 20. Stanley Richard recovered in the end zone for the touchback. Perrott will throw again on 1st down. Flag is down. The pass is complete. It may come back. Mark Logan. And usually if the referee is throwing it, it's going to be coming back and going north. I guess that's
holding number 67.
Hard to tell.
You're going on a limb. Knight, what does darkness have to do with direction?
Because I can tell when the sun's going down, I know which way is west.
Oh, man, I'm not letting you off the hook.
Tonight, the MetLife Club has teamed up with TNT Sports to provide an aerial view of RFK Stadium. They know what direction they're going.
I hope.
After tonight's game, Snoopy won. Will transmit to the warmer skies, transit to the warmer skies in the south. Now you've got me.
Boy, you're a bad reader.
Where the blimp will remain for the winter months.
There you go.
I like the idea. Snoopy 1's going south for the winter. 1st down. Terry Allen out near the 15. Whoops. Michael Strahan and Scott Galbraith. James Jenkins, number 88. Now there's Galbraith is into it.
Now Galbraith is 89 and 88 is James Jenkins. Some pushing and shoving, and as you expect in the NFC East, you can see a lot of this. This is actually the 2nd scuffle that's broken out tonight. And you generally see a lot of them.
That one may last longer than Peter McNeely.
I hope his next fight, what was it?
89
seconds, yeah.
Something like that. I like the way he's catching him and sticking the beat.
Yeah. It was a pizza thing?
Right.
Yeah.
2nd down. Oh, Perrott intercepted. Picked off for the 2nd time. This time, Felipe Sparks.
And the first one was not his fault. That one was Gus Perrault's fault. Shouldn't have thrown this ball. Couldn't get enough velocity on the ball and threw it right into the hands, the waiting arms of Felipe Sparks, number 22, who's had a real solid season for the Giants thus far.
Jamal Duff was the man who was in the face of Perrott. Sparks gets the intercept. Giants lead by 4. We're looking at those Polaroids or the still pictures of the formation. And Perrott walks away.
Yeah, here's the pressure at Jamal Duff right there. He's the guy that's going to beat the block of Simmons to cause the interception.
And after the interception, first down at the 16-yard line. First down and 10. Brown across the middle.
Boy. Unbelievable.
Brian Kozlowski, the tight end, number 85, had it, took a step, was hit and dropped it. And Marcus Patton has come up with it.
Well, it's been a game of giveaway so far.
One team 2-5, one 3-5. That's not unexpected.
The Giants scored on an interception return, and the Giants fumble in the end zone. The Redskins throw a couple of interceptions, and they return the favor. The Giants return the favor. There's number 99, Rod Stevens, the middle linebacker who got his helmet in there. Rod Stevens last week against Detroit caused a fumble on the very first Detroit play against Brett Perriman. So twice in the last 2 weeks, Rod Stevens has caused fumbles. And Dan Reeves, the personality of a Molotov cocktail when he's losing.
Yes.
Getting ready to get the ball up.
He has mellowed a bit.
He is intense, I'd say.
Yeah.
Competitive.
Terry Allen comes right. This is one of the more unusual statistics relative to this game and these two teams. The Redskins come in with a 3-5 mark. You know, you always hear about turnovers. This is a Washington team that is +6 in the turnover ratio. That's amazing.
He's covering his call, assuming somebody's going to be reading his lips. Did you see that?
Us.
Yeah, us. Yeah, you see what's happened? You're right. In the 3 wins, they've taken the ball 10 times and scored 40 points on it. You see what happened in the losses.
Turnovers are 2-2 right now. Here's Perrott. Blitz coming from 12. He finds Logan, and Logan's got some room. Out to the 20, 32-yard line. Mark Logan, who bobbled the first pass thrown his way. That's the one that was picked off by Vincey Glenn and returned 75 yards for a touch.
The thing you really like about Gus Frerotte is the way he hangs in the pocket under duress. I mean, he's never looking at the rush. His eyes are always downfield, and a lot of young guys get too concerned with the rush. But he gets planted, he gets rid of the ball quickly, and he's fearless back there. I mean, I think it's what Norah Turner likes about him most.
And we heard it over and over again yesterday in chatting with his teammates about poise in the pocket. Here's Perrott, deep, incomplete. Henry Ellard, the intended receiver.
No, John Giesick, the center for the Redskins, was talking to us and saying, you know, it was that Denver game where he really believed that Gus Frerotte won over the team, because he said, hey, bodies were flying all over the place, but Gus Frerotte just kind of hung in there. And he said, hey, I became a believer in that Denver game.
Well, Giesick said yesterday that they all expected him to come out and carry Heath Shuler's helmet, and said now it's his position to lose. And when his teammates start talking that way,
that means something.
Yep. Hand off. Terry Allen cuts back and moves out across the 35 to the 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 5. Well, 2 turnovers for both clubs. 1 an interception return for a touchdown. That's the Giant TD. They lead at 7-3 at the end of 1.
In the sport, join Mark May, Kevin Kiley, and me as we take a look at a big day in the National Football League news-wise. Injuries out of San Francisco. Deion Sanders had a big day in Atlanta. Also have no huddle highlights, too. We'll see you then.
How about, remember August 1969?
I remember it well.
Neil Armstrong walking on the big piece of cheese.
Matter of fact, it's funny how you remember where you were and why. I watched the moon landing in a gathering of the Dallas Cowboy coaching staff and front office personnel. Was sitting on a sofa next to Tom Lee.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I knew it had to be involved the Cowboys.
Of course it did. Of course. That's my first Cowboy pop tonight. Left side, that pass complete. Coleman Bell.
You know,
well, listen, I'm going to give you a platform to talk about great Southern Cal Notre Dame games you've seen.
No, hello. Let's talk about tight ends for the Redskins instead, okay?
Perfect.
And we just saw one of them, Coleman Bell, right there. And they have 3 different tight ends, all with different kinds of talents. James Jenkins is the blocker, Bell is the receiver, and Scott Galbraith, number 89, kind of does a little of both. And they use all 3 of them in a lot of different ways.
Coleman Bell, his 12th catch of the year. And they bring the chain from the far side of the field. Short. Punting situation. On November 8th, TNT will take NFL fans where they've never been before, it says here.
There you go.
Don't miss 6 days to Sunday, a unique behind-the-scenes look at the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings as they prepared for their Sunday night showdown back in September. That premieres Wednesday, November 8th on TNT.
6 days to Sunday, airing on a Wednesday?
Yes.
Yes. We've been promoting that for about 36 days.
Warren Moon has turned 40 since we started talking about it. Here's Matt Turk on to punt for the first time tonight, and Arthur Marshall, who is occupying the spots held with such distinction by Dave Meggett in previous years, and the punt returning yardage for the Giants has gone down. Here's Matt Turk's nice high punt. Marshall with a fair catch at the 15-yard line. Matt Turk, fair catch, 7-3, 14:32 to go in the half. First half, 7-3 Giants lead. Rodney Hampton's going to get a rest, and Tyrone Wheatley has come on for the first time tonight. Earlier, Rodney Hampton became the all-time Giant rushing leader. And tonight's GMC Truck leaderboard, here's the list of the career leaders with the fewest yards for respective teams. George Rogers, the all-time rushing leader for the Saints with 4,267. Christian Okoye with the Chiefs. How about the Chargers? Paul Lowe.
How about this one? Who are the active players in the NFL who lead their team in rushing yards? Career rushing yards. The active players.
You obviously know the answer.
Well, you're not allowed to answer the question unless you know the answer.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
To be continued. Here's Tyrone Wheatley.
Every third series, Tyrone Wheatley, the #1 draft pick. Dan Reeves says we do not know enough about him. He has been injured most of his time with the Giants. He is a speed back versus the power back of Rodney Hampton, and they hope that he can be the guy that can give them, you know, some long runs, some 40-yard type runs. But they have not seen enough of Tyrone Wheatley yet this season.
Hampton getting a rest with 25 yards on 7 carries. Walker and Way in the backfield now with Hampton, and Walker is wide right. Now that's Herschel in motion. Tyrone Wheatley. Lance Smith, number 61, the right guard, leading the way. And Stanley Richard, number 24.
Well, any response to my question? Who are the active players who are currently the career rushing leaders for their teams? One of them is in this game tonight.
Well, Rodney Hampton.
There you go. That's one. So you get two more.
Much.
You got 2 more.
Well, that's all the hint I get?
No, they're active players.
Well, that's 29 other teams.
How about Barry Sanders and Marcus Allen?
That was too easy.
Okay. Well, you didn't get either one of them.
Third down. Dropped. Callaway. Or what? Yes, Callaway. Darrell Green.
He may have tipped it. I don't know if it was dropped or Darrell Green tipped the ball. And Darrell Green, in his 13th year, is still a focus for this Redskins, and really probably the greatest link to those old great Redskin teams. Last week, intercepted a pass in overtime to win the football game for the Redskins against Detroit.
Now here's where it gets dangerous for the Giants. Mike Horan will kick it to Brian Mitchell. Brian Mitchell is averaging 23 yards per punt return this year. He's only returned 9.
Put it out of bounds.
High and very short.
When you're worried about a guy, that's what happens.
Mitchell disdained the fair catch. That's Sunday night. We use disdain.
There you go. And Herschel
Elsewhere
Walker.
they use eschew.
How do you spell that?
We disdain, they eschew. Herschel Walker made a tackle.
How many vowels in that? Is really a very unselfish player, because for a big name, he does a lot of different things to try to help your team win, and that is including special teams and running down on punts and making tackles. Kind of outran the blockers of the Redskins, but you know, he's a guy that over his career, you know, he has done a lot of different things in different ways on special teams, kickoffs, punt returns.
Once again, Farrat's going to throw on first down, deep left side. Beautiful. Nice pass, nice route, out of bounds at the 35.
Yeah, nice route, as you said, is the key thing, because everybody talks about Henry Ellard in his route running, number 85. And what they say about him, he doesn't lose any speed in and out of breaks. I mean, and generally a defensive back will look at a receiver and he'll give some sort of clue of what kind of route he's going to run by changing the position of his body. Ellard doesn't do that, and so he creates a lot of separation as he comes out of a break.
Already 4 catches, 84 yards, 22 on the last one. First down at the 35. Terry Allen starts right, comes back to the left.
Well, Dan Reeves said if we're going to have any chance of winning this game, we have to slow Terry Allen down. They have done that. 6 carries for only 15 yards tonight.
Particular emphasis, Reeves said, will be placed on maintaining discipline by the linebackers to keep you from cutting back.
You know, we talked about a lot of guys changing teams, you know, at the beginning of this show, and earlier we saw Morton Anderson and Eric Metcalf go to the Falcons. Terry Allen, I think, has dramatically affected this team and their running game. They're averaging more than 50 yards a game rushing than they did a year ago without him.
Lions third, number 74, hurried on. Here's Farad. Has it batted back and picked off. And here goes Mike Strahan. Michael Strahan, the defensive end, chased, caught, down at the 1.
Well, what a bizarre game of turnovers. I mean, we've seen a fumble that shouldn't have been a fumble by Hampton. We've seen an interception return for a touchdown that shouldn't have been an interception. It should have been caught by Mark Logan. It has been a very odd game. This one just gets rejected. This is a Wilson burger. Somebody gets their arms up. Look, it was Jamal Duff again, number 96. He was the guy who caused the interception earlier. He has caused both interceptions, Jamal Duff has. And Michael Strahan, I think it was Terry Allen who hustled down to make the stop. Never quitting. But hasn't this been kind of strange?
Weird.
Strange. The turnovers have been just very bizarre.
It was Terry Allen who caught him. Michael Strahan with the interception. That's 3 in the ball game. That is the 2nd interception this season for Strahan. For a defensive end, I beg your pardon, his first. No, it is his 2nd.
There you go.
Yep. First and goal. Tyrone Wheatley. 2nd goal.
Kind of interesting, after the fumble by Rodney Hampton on their last goal line situation, Tyrone Wheatley, the #1 draft pick out of Michigan, is in running in their goal line situation now. And whereas this was always Hampton's territory, Vern, you know, down inside the 5, Rodney Hampton, because he is such a powerful guy, this is where he really did a lot of damage over the years. Had 2 fumbles inside the 20-yard line.
2nd and goal. Charles Way in motion. Quickly. Touchdown. Fought off the block of Stanley Richard. And Tyrone Wheatley gets his 2nd touchdown of 1995.
I don't know whether that was poor tackling or a good run by Wheatley. But it looks like one of the defenders, I guess it was Stanley Richard, got his helmet on the wrong side of the running back and allowed Tyrone Wheatley, number 28, to get in. Now, I thought he was going to bounce this thing outside right away and score with some speed. But he should have been stopped, really. That's a tackle that I think Stanley Richard should have made and prevented him from going to the end zone.
Daloiso with the extra point. Well, both touchdowns, the result of interceptions. Benzie Glenn goes 75 yards with an interception for a touchdown. Michael Strahan picks one off and goes 62 yards to set up this play.
Well, a new era for Giants. Rodney Hampton has always been the guy in the past. This time it's the #1 draft pick, Wheatley.
2nd touchdown of 1995, set up by the Strahan interception. And let's take a look at the tackle.
Yeah, here's the tackle, number 24 right there, Stanley Richard. He actually hits Wheatley at the 2-yard line. And you can call this one of 2 ways: a powerful run by Wheatley or a poor tackle by Stanley Richard.
Which would you opt for?
I think Stanley Richard should have hit him there at the 2-yard line and really kind of dropped him and stopped him.
Wheatley gets in. The score is 14-3. 3 turnovers now, interceptions by the Giants in the first half. Out to the 29-yard line. And Gus Frerotte comes back on at quarterback for the Washington Redskins. 14-3 the score. The first touchdown, a 75-yard pass interception returned by Vincey Glenn. The Redskins moved the ball quite easily. They had to settle for a 47-yard Eddie Murray field goal. A second interception led to a 1st and goal for the Giants, but Rodney Hampton fumbled in the end zone, recovered by the Redskins. Then Michael Strahan just picked one off, went 62 yards, set up a 1st and goal to make it 14-3 after Wheatley scored. The handoff to Allen. And Terry Allen gets out across the 30 to the 31. Now, let's take a look at the Lee Sport scoreboard as we reach the midway point of the season.
Well, you know, Vern, too, just thinking about this game for a moment, too. Dan Reeves said there were 3 things we had to do to win this football game. One was to slow Terry Allen down. They have done that. 7 carries, 19 yards. You see, the other thing is we have to stop Brian Mitchell on special teams. They've done that thus far. The other thing is that we have to stop Henry Ellard. They have not done that yet. Henry Ellard's had a very good evening thus far. 4 catches.
4 for 84. Play action for Rod. Threw it off his back heel for Ellard. And stride for stride with him was Randolph. Thomas Randolph, the second-year man from Kansas State.
Henry Ellard, in his 13th year, really has had a remarkable career. When you think he's caught over 700 passes and averaged almost 17 yards a catch. You know, you see so much in the NFL these days, these little dink passes of guys catching the ball 3 and 5 yards. He has always been a down-the-field guy. He continues to be here, to be so with the Redskins.
He played for Norv Turner when Norv was with the Rams as an offensive assistant before Turner went to the Cowboys. Here's Frerotte. Got him. Robert Harris, 3rd sack of the season, 1st tonight. It'll be 4th down.
Well, the Giant defense has played well in this first half, but what they have not been able to do is play well for an entire game. And Mike Nolan, defensive coordinator, says that's what I want. I think this was pretty good coverage. It's made him hold the ball a long time, and it gave Robert Harris plenty of time to get to Frerotte.
Matt Turk is on to punt for the 2nd time tonight. Interesting story. His brother Dan, an 11-year veteran in the league, and here is Turk, who's in his 1st season at the age of 26. Marshall with a fair catch. A flag is also down. So this one might come back.
That flag went as high as the punt. Did you notice that?
Bob McElwee's ready to take this commercial. But first, we're going to find out about.
I don't know if he knew there was a penalty.
Here's Matt Turk.
Boy.
Played football for Whitewater, Wisconsin.
Did he pick up the flag?
I don't think so. Unsportsmanlike, I think, on 31, if I'm a lip reader.
You know, he graduated from college in 1992. I'm talking about Turk, and just kind of bounced around trying to make a team. It's tough for these guys. I mean, just finally got his chance here, and this is the play they're talking about. This is Darrell Pounds, number 31 for the Redskins. He's getting pushed from the back.
Well, he certainly didn't.
By Jason Sehorn. He did get hit.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 31 of the kicking team running down under the punt, out of bounds. That's a 15-yard penalty. Repeat the kick.
That one goes over my head.
I need to stand on your graduate degrees for that one.
Pounds looked like he got nailed from the back.
Right.
He did get nailed from the back. He was pushed in the back. Should have been a penalty on the Giants. Nonetheless, they're going to give Matt Turk another opportunity. Talking about Matt Turk, what a difficult time it's been. He was bounced around Tendon Bar for a while. He was in the roofing business for a while and going for one tryout after another. Finally got a break in a kicking camp where Pete Rodriguez, special teams coach for the Redskins, got a chance to see him and said, hey, we'll give him a chance.
That was in Reno back in April. He and 15 other unemployed punters showed up. And he said they kicked for a bunch of special teams coaches. They got 10 apiece. And with punts like this one, he earned a chance. Here's Arthur Marshall. And Darrell Pounds.
Yeah, still making the play.
Downfield to make the tackle. So the Giants have it back. 1st and 10 at their own 43. And they lead it 14-3.
In truck sports, your white hat GMC truck.
Darrell Pounds, number 31 of the Redskins right now. What's going to happen, you're going to see him go out of bounds, and he does not make an attempt to get back inbounds for about 10, 12 yards, and that was the penalty. He is out of bounds right here, and wait to see how long it takes for him to get inbounds. He's running out of bounds for a good 15 yards, and that was the unsportsmanlike penalty they called on Darrell Pounds. So there you have your clarification, Bert.
Thank you, Dr. Hayden.
Feel better?
Much better.
Good.
Sinuses are clear. Brown. Oh, my! Oh, Callaway. Had it hit his shoulder pad, bounced backwards.
Well, you know, this team has struggled. Everybody's pointing the finger at Dave Brown, but, you know, they have been woeful, but it has not been entirely his fault, as evidenced by that play, because that is a perfect throw. And the other thing, if he catches that, as you see, there's no defensive back around him. He can probably run for at least another 10 yards.
Kozlowski comes in now as a second tight end on 2nd and 10. Brown back, goes deep. He's got a man. Here's Mike Sherrard. No flags. Touchdown. Dave Brown, Mike Sherrard. Nifty play.
And we said during their 6-game streak last year, he played consistently, and he made crucial plays. And he's done that tonight. He threw 2 consistent balls there in a row, one to Callaway, one to Sherrard, and he's made the critical plays, and that's the difference. That's why it's 20-3 right now in the lead, in the favor of the Giants. That was a perfectly thrown ball because he didn't have to adjust at all.
Only the 5th touchdown pass of the season for Dave Brown.
You know, they have not had a lot to smile about this season, but tonight, as they were smiling there, they deserve it.
And for Sherrard, his longest gain of the year. It's been a night of big plays. That's the first one on offense. Good job of holding. As the kick goes through, Dalawiso.
And it started with awfully good protection, but he drills this ball, and Mike Sherrard had guys beaten by a good 5 yards. See, one of the defensive backs, you see, just stop right there. That's James Washington. He was beaten. Looked like he was expecting some more help from a free safety who was not there. I don't know what happened to the safety, the other safety, but it wasn't anywhere near Sherrard. And we talked about their wide receivers being an underutilized asset. Well, they've used them tonight.
Mike Sherrard's 57-yard catch with the pass is the longest pass play for New York this season. Longest pass play for the Giants, Dave Brown, his 5th TD pass. And Sherrard with the grab. It has been a night of big plays. A 75-yard interception return by Vincey Glenn for a TD. A 62-yard rumble by Mike Strahan that set up a 1-yard touchdown run. And now Mike Sherrard, who, by the way, is getting into the broadcast business. He did some World League games last spring, one in Scotland as an analyst, one as a sideline reporter, and one in the studio in London. One-time Dallas Cowboy, had that unfortunate difficulty with broken legs, 2 of them, that we thought would cost him his career.
If he were a horse, it would have cost him his career.
Yeah. Taken by Mitchell. Tackle downfield. And the Redskins showing a little frustration. Jesse Armstead, number 98, makes the stop.
Let's go back to the touchdown play, because there wasn't either safety. Both safeties were out of position. Here is Stanley, the free safety. Here's James Washington, the strong safety. And Sherrard is going to run right down here, and neither safety is anywhere near Mike Sherrard. It had to be a broken coverage.
See Tom Carter come into view, and then he got out of the way.
Both safeties close to the line of scrimmage, but somebody's got to cover the deep middle or the deep half, and there was nobody there.
1st and 10 from the 23. Barat into the flat, incomplete. Terry Allen was the intended recipient.
Well, this is where you find out, I think, a lot about quarterbacks, be it young or old. I mean, your team is struggling at home. I mean, you're still the crowd favorite, but is down 21-3, and this is where Gus Frerotte has to manufacture some plays.
James Washington trying to discover what went wrong, who blew the assignment, what happened on that last play, 2nd and 10. Mark Logan out across the 25.
Mark Logan's playing that fullback position for Vern, and when you play fullback for Norv Turner, you have to be a versatile kind of player. I mean, Johnston at Dallas, when he was there, could do a lot of things, and they're hoping Mark Logan can be a guy like that. He can run a little bit, catch the ball some out of the backfield, a good pass protector in blitz situations, but you have to be a very versatile guy to play fullback for Norv Turner.
3rd and 6. The Redskins 1 of 4 thus far on 3rd down conversions. Frerotte, he's got a man open. That's caught by Leslie Shepard way downfield and out of bounds at the 35.
They said this is just when you need to find out about your quarterback, making plays, down 21-3, and Frerotte makes one. Bottom of the screen, number 86 is Leslie Shepard. Just kind of blows by Randolph, and again, the safety doesn't get there this time for the Giants. That's Jesse Campbell. He was tied up by the slot receiver, and that held him up just enough to allow Leslie Shepard to get past the corner.
That's a gain of 38 yards and a 1st down and 10 at the 35. Backs in the eye. 21-3, Giants lead. Here's the reverse, and Leslie Shepard is hit and dropped behind the line by Jesse Armstead.
I was talking to Norv Turner before the game, and talking about reverses, he said, early in the year, Michael Westbrook ran reverses for some very big plays against Arizona and such. He said, we have not run them successfully the last few weeks, but it's kept people at home. And he said, one of the reasons we beat Dallas was because we kept Charles Haley at home because he was so afraid of the reverse. So even though it's a negative play there, it keeps people at home. You're not chasing from the backside.
2nd down, 11. Here comes Armstead. They got him. Jesse Armstead. First sack of the season for number 98.
And he has played the best of all their linebackers this year, Jesse Armstead. Started the year really kind of as a special teams guy and a 3rd down back. Number 98, you're going to see him come up late next to Strahan's 92. Kind of a delayed blitz. Beats the back Allen. And makes the play, but he has played well on special teams. He's intercepted a pass for a touchdown, and there he makes the sack.
3rd and 18. Titus Winans with only his 2nd catch, a fumble. And it's picked up. It will be down by contact, I believe.
No, it's going to be a giant ball.
Yes.
It's going to be the giant ball. He said his knee was down, but another turnover.
Vincey Glenn, he does pick up the fumble, but it is down by contact after the fumble.
Remember how the Vikings always turn the ball over and making big plays. Vincey Glenn played in Minnesota, did it there. He has brought that to the Giants. Now he has a fumble recovery and an interception in this ball game tonight.
1st down.
Always seemingly around the ball. Winans actually makes a pretty good run. It looked like he was going to get the 1st down, and the strip right there by Vincey Glenn. Made the strip and then the recovery. He's never satisfied with just the tackle. 4th turnover of the evening. Really bizarre.
Yes. Very.
You're not going to win many ball games turning the ball over 4 times.
21-3. The score, Dave Brown, and the Giants have it back. Brian Williams over the ball. Herschel Walker, he hasn't carried the ball much out of the backfield. That's only his 20th carry of the season. And he was telling us last night he needs to touch the football. He can't really help the team unless he does.
He was saying that this offensive team really needs a spark. He said, I'd like to be a part of that or be the spark, if you will, but I just have not touched the ball enough. Tonight they're going to use him some as a wide receiver. Did throw that one long pass to him. and they give him his 20th carry of the year. But they thought, I thought too, that he was going to be able to fill in for Dave Meggett pretty admirably, but he's not done it so far.
2nd and 11. Stumbles, finds Aaron Pierce. And Pierce totes it out to the 35-yard line. That's 3 yards short of the first down. Marcus Patton makes the tackle.
And a good block by Lance Smith, the right guard, number 61, for the Giants. I mean, this screen is set up pretty well, but you're going to see a good block by number 61. He pump faking left, kind of stumbles a little bit. Pierce is the receiving tight end. Howard Cross is more of the blocker. He's out tonight. The block there was by Smith, and then a good recovery late in that run by the Redskins.
Redskins problems on 3rd down defense. The Giants tonight are 3 of 4 on 3rd down conversions. Well, another first down. They're 4 of 5.
Norv Turner said to us yesterday, we have not rushed the passer well, and we have not played 3rd down defense well. Sometimes those go hand in hand, clearly. But he's very concerned about his 3rd down defense. Ken Harvey, number 57, their best pass rusher against John Elliott. Jumbo just kind of swallows him. And again, if Ken Harvey's going to beat Jumbo Elliott, he's going to have to beat him with quickness on the outside, because you're not going to overpower Elliott.
4:33 to go first half. First down and 10, 21-3 to score. Rodney Hampton bursts up the middle across the 50, then the 45. Another big gain.
Well, you know, the week off may have helped these Giants. You know, Dan Reeves said we changed up our practice schedule. I was just looking for anything to get a spark. Lance Smith, number 61, a good trap block. And again, that's a big hole. That is a huge hole in the NFL. 17-yard gain by Rodney Hampton.
First down at the 44. The Giants tried to pad their lead before halftime. Turnovers have helped them to an 18-point margin. Backs are split. Walker lined up, and he's going deep. That one's rejected. I mean, really rejected.
Wilsonberger.
Tony Woods.
I want to tell you one thing, though. The running of Rodney Hampton and this Giant team, he's got 41 yards on 8 carries, is going to make Dave Brown a lot more effective thrower. When Woods was not fooled. Woods did a good job of just staying at home. It was supposed to be one of those naked bootleg plays. You see more and more teams in the NFL running, but did not fool old number 98, Mr. Woods.
Walker and Hampton behind Dave Brown. Now they split. Second down and 10. Carter and Richard were back there. Romeo Bandison, number 72, had some pressure, or may have jumped across.
Number 72,
yep.
Defense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Remember Dave Brown against Philadelphia a couple of games ago? He had Mike Mamula offsides with a snap count, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. He just changes it up right there and gets another free play. Put that in the old arsenal.
Dave was chatting with us last night. Of course, he got pulled for Tommy Maddox last week. He said Dan Reeves came to him Thursday afternoon around 6:15. He was getting a massage. Reeves walked into the training room and said, "I'm never doing that again. You're my quarterback. I'll not pull you from a game, regardless of how it's going." Here's the handoff to Hampton, and that's a first down.
That Giants got it going offensively right now. They have scored 21 points, 1 defensive touchdown, but they are running the power football with Rodney Hampton, and then Dave Brown is feeding off of that.
Coming up at halftime on the Fruit of the Loom halftime report, Vince Cellini has the no-huddle highlights, a fast-paced look at the big plays of the day. Kevin Kiley has Deion Sanders return to Atlanta. That's coming up on the Fruit of the Loom halftime report. Yes.
Redskins need a defensive stop here badly on this series.
First down and 10. Marshall in motion. Brown back to throw. Dave Brown gets rid of it just as he is hit, and it's complete to Marshall.
And it looks like he's slowing down a little bit, Vern. Remember Dan Reeves was saying about Dave Brown, he said, hey, you know, he's a real smart guy, and sometimes he reads things too quickly and gives up on a receiver too quickly. He said, I want him to hang in there a little bit longer with the guy, and this time he does hang in there with Arthur Marshall and delivers an accurate throw.
Brown for the day, 8 of 12 for 118 yards. It's 2nd and 4. They're moving again. Hampton inside the 20 near the 17, and that's another 1st down and 10. Now, Dan Reeves came to Dave Brown during that little get-together in the training room, and Dan said, I've been coaching a head coach 15 years. That's the 2nd time I've ever pulled a quarterback. Both times were disastrous. The other time was at Denver. He pulled Steve DeBerg in favor of a guy named John Elway in a playoff game. They lost. In the nation's capital, the Washington Monument in the forefront, and the Lincoln Memorial in the background, and the MetLife blimp cruising the skies above Washington, D.C., powered by twin engines that are capable of reaching speeds greater than 57 miles per hour. Snoopy 1 can navigate at altitudes in excess of 6,000 feet.
How tall do you think the Washington Monument is?
Taller than you?
555 feet.
You looked that up. You looked it up. How many miles is that?
No.
There's a pass thrown in the end zone and just out of the reach of Mike Sherrard. Well, we mentioned Dave Brown and the conversation he had with Dan Reeves. Steve DeBerg is the fellow who was pulled by Dan Reeves at Denver. He's now the quarterback coach of the Giants.
He's carrying around a lot of technology. See, he had the little recorder there he was talking into. He's got this thing around here to listen to the Eagles when they're on defense. And then he's got these headsets. So he's got the recorder, you know, the headphones to listen to the Eagles, and then he's got the regular football headset.
He may be calling for a taxi. It's possible. 2nd down. Hampton to the 15-yard line.
We said this is a very important defensive series for the Washington Redskins. Down 21-3, inside 2 minutes, and another 3rd down situation for them. And they have not played well tonight on 3rd down defensively either. Came into the game a very poor 3rd down team. They have not been able to put much pressure on Dave Brown, and they've not defended well in this situation, pass defending.
4 out of 5 on 3rd downs thus far for the New York Giants. They lead at 21-3, and they have a 3rd and 7 here. Walker, that pass incomplete. Intended for Aaron Pierce, and he didn't have possession. It'll be 4th down.
He is a competitive guy.
Tex Schramm said once that Dan Reeves was the most competitive person he ever knew in the Cowboy organization.
He would pitch inside to Mother Teresa.
It didn't matter.
You know, he is competitive. He is.
I almost let that one go.
So
and probably should have.
It means a lot to him. It's important.
And how did you spend your bye week? He got an elbow operated on. Yeah. The better to improve his golf swing. The kick by Daloiso is up, and it is good. So Brad Daloiso is now 9 of 11 on field goals for the season. That one's good from 31, and it extends the New York Giant lead to 21 points.
So remember, Gus Frerotte is a good 2-minute player. And again, I think where the Giants have to be very careful right now is making sure Brian Mitchell doesn't put them in position to score before halftime, because Washington has 3 timeouts. So the Brian Mitchell story is an important one right now.
Join TNT this Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern for Tip-Off 95, a 1-hour preview show of the upcoming NBA season. Then at 8 o'clock, TNT opens its regular season coverage when Larry Johnson and the Charlotte Hornets take on Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls live from the United Center in Chicago.
Who do you like this year?
Well, why not? What's not to like with Chicago?
Yeah.
You don't think that'll be a traveling circus this year, do you?
You'll be there several times, right?
Yes.
I'll be going to those Clipper games in Los Angeles.
On the front row.
Yeah, that's it.
That last drive, 58 yards, 12 plays, 6.5 minutes. Daloiso will kick it off.
And kick it away from that man, Brian Mitchell. Don't give him a chance to give Gus Frerotte very good field position. Mitchell at the 1.
downfield coverage. Charles Way, number 30, makes the tackle on number 30.
Good special teams by the Giants. Joe DeCamillius, the special teams coach there, has done a good job. They were very concerned about Brian Mitchell. There's Joe. And they have taken him away in this first half. Charles Way, all the way over here, number 30 in blue. Just kind of sneaks around the entire wedge to make the stop on Mitchell.
1st and 10, Joe DeCamillis. And here's Farad back. Looks deep, fires deep, double coverage. And it's overthrown, intended for Shepard, but he was well covered back there by Sparks and Campbell.
It had been a pretty ugly possession chart, if you will. Interception on the first one. That was not Farad's fault. One was, and there was a third interception, fumble, 4 turnovers in the first half.
And Norv Turner's team was +6 coming in.
And they're not a good enough, a good enough or a dynamic team enough really to kind of overcome those kind of mistakes. This is a team that it has to be playing well offensively, defensively, and in special teams really to win.
2nd and 10, Farad back. Crossing pattern, but the pass knocked away by Sparks, who got a hand in front of Henry Ellard.
Well, he's had a good first half. There's his little D on Sanders. You know, Mike Nolan was saying about Sparks, number 22, that said, I've never had a corner that has played as well as Felipe Sparks has this season. He's got the little body lean. As soon as he feels Ellard leaning, he knows he's going to break, and then he breaks with him. That's a heck of a play by Sparks. Felt the body lean, his arm went up, and knocks it away.
3rd and 10, 50 seconds to go before halftime. Redskins have converted 1/3. So their 3rd down, watch out. Farad is hit as he lets it go. Leslie Shepard with the catch, and that's a 1st down out to the 33-yard line.
And good anticipation by Farad. I mean, you have to have courage in this league to play quarterback, and you have to trust yourself and your receiver sometimes to throw the ball early. And every quarterback is going to have to live with pressure in the pocket. But if you anticipate and you throw the ball early, even with pressure, you come up with big plays as he did right there.
That was Coleman Rudolph, number 91, who got to him. The pass good for a gain of 13 and a 1st down. He'll try it deep left side, and again it's for Shepard. Randolph stride for stride with him. Leslie Shepard playing in the spot occupied by Michael Westbrook. Westbrook another 4 weeks before he gets back in the lineup, out with an injury. Gus Farad, Ford City, Pennsylvania, town about 40 minutes north of Pittsburgh. Two sports star there. Said he wore number 12 because he grew up as a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He couldn't live in that part of the country without being one. Had a guy named Bradshaw wore it with some degree of distinction in the 70s when Gus was a child. That pass complete to Ellard.
Well, they have 3 timeouts remaining. I think they ought to use one, and they just did. And again, he continues to play well in those 2-minute situations. He's done this all season long. And again, they still need probably 20 yards to give Eddie Murray a chance. But this is a quick rhythm type of throw. Right, it's a perfectly thrown ball in front of Ellard and away from the defender. It is hard sometimes to find wide receivers. I mean, there's a lot of bodies flying around, and you know, we really take these pass completions for granted. A lot of things have to go right to have a completion like that. I mean, the offensive line has to do their job, the quarterback has to read the coverage right, and of course the receiver has to beat the defender. And these guys are so good in the NFL today. We really do, I think, take them for granted sometimes.
Farad 10 of 21, but what has really nullified any effort offensively, the 3 interceptions. 1 return for a touchdown, 75 yards. 1 return, 62 yards to set up a TD. And it's 24-3. 1st and 10, 2 timeouts left, 31 seconds to go before the halftime break. That one's good across the middle. Here's Shepard. Hauled down by Campbell. And Leslie Shepard asking for
He was not a face mask, but I think he said he got clubbed in the head. It was not a face mask, but he said, hey, it still should be a 15-yard penalty for getting clubbed into the head. Okay, these balls are frozen ropes that Farad is throwing, and right on the money, and giving his receiver a chance to run after the catch. No, that's not a penalty. Not a penalty.
time has been called. Excuse me.
You know, with one timeout remaining, there's the play again. It's a good tackle by Jesse Campbell. For Eddie Murray, a career long of 54 yards.
20 seconds to go. They have one timeout left. We were talking with Pete Garcia, the special teams coach. He thought, Rodriguez, beg your pardon, Murray's effective range now probably 46, 47. Yes. 50 would be the outer limit. Not that Eddie is showing any age at 39, but he's showing some age at 39.
Well, he's only had 2 kicks blocked in his entire career. I think that's incredible.
Pass across the middle.
Is that a good throw? Is that a good throw?
At the 35, that's another dandy.
Well, they still have a timeout, and they're going to use it now.
Yeah, we had a chance to chat with Eddie Murray yesterday about it. He said he'd only had 2 field goals blocked in his career, both by Alan Page. And I thought that was terrific.
Yeah.
Then I went and looked up the record. Well, his last field goal blocked was in 1987. Page retired in 81.
No, that is not correct. But nonetheless, you figure that he's been around so long, and to only have 2 kicks blocked, it tells you how quickly he gets the ball off and how high it gets off.
Eddie has had a well-traveled time of it since being released by Detroit, and he's still bitter about that release in 1992. He's been with 6 teams in the last 5 years, signed by the Redskins in August of this year. Among other things, he's chasing the all-time record for most consecutive extra points. He holds the modern record now of 214, and he's only 20 off the all-time mark. This, of course, will be a very lengthy field goal, and this will be a test for Eddie Murray. About 52 yards, I believe.
And Gus Frerotte, his holder, and he was saying to us, all I look at is his left hand. And looking at that spot. I don't look at the rush, I don't look at the snap, and as soon as his hand moves, I begin my kicking motion.
He's kicked 1 of 47 tonight. That's long enough. That's good! Oh, man! So much for the outer limits of 47. Oh, terrific stuff.
And that's a lift to the Redskins. Even though they're going to go in 24-6 at halftime, this is a lift, the kind of lift they needed. Good hold by Frerotte. Again, he gets it up quickly. And you worry about on a long field goal, a 52-yard field goal, about a guy trying to hit it so hard, he hits it low and gets blocked, but he had plenty of air time and hang time on that kick.
Well, the youngster Gus Frerotte, a little excited about the effort of Eddie Murray, the 39-year-old place kicker.
He ought to be excited about his own performance, because once again, inside this 2-minute situation for the Redskins, he played very well. Very well.
Frerotte now 12 of 23 for 208 yards in the first half. And again, the 3 interceptions. There's Heath Schuler looking on.
And one of those interceptions was clearly not his fault. One was a bad throw, and I can't recall the other one. I know he has 3 of them.
Phillippe Sparks got 1 inside the 35-yard line. Here's a squib kick taken up close and down by Corey Whitmer, number 90 at the 30-yard line. Well, the Redskins get a bit of a lift just before halftime, but the New York Giants, with the help of 4 turnovers, post a 24-6 lead at the end of the first 30 minutes of play. RFK in Washington. We've reached halftime.
Our little haunted house at the TNT studios. 2 days before Halloween, a very frightening Sunday in the National Football League. We have a lot to talk about. Welcome to the Fruit of the Loom halftime report. I'm Vince Cellini. 24-6 is your score. Giants with the advantage at RFK Stadium. We have a long way to go and not much time to get there. So with the help of this pal and this pal, Mark May, let's go to the no-huddle highlights and see if we can get some ground covered here. All right, we'll start in Joe Robbie Stadium today. The Bills and the Dolphins, and a tilt down there that is always exceptional. Dan Marino was back as the Dolphins starting quarterback to Terry Kirby. And he goes airborne from the 5 for a touchdown. The Dolphins put to an end their 3-game losing streak. Both teams 5-3 now after the Miami win.
Seattle at Arizona under 4 minutes to go in the game. Chris Warren rumbling for the go-ahead touchdown. But he's hit by Aeneas Williams right here and fumbles the football. Arizona recovers in the end zone. And we go into overtime where John Freeze, he's back in the pocket, he throws. He's picked off by Lorenzo Lynch. Where he's going, he could go. Yes, he will go. 72 yards for the winning score. Arizona defeats Seattle 20-14, and Buddy breathes another sigh of relief in Arizona.
Oh, what a grim day at San Francisco. One of the bright spots, Jerry Rice does overtake James Lofton, the all-time receiving yardage leader. For the Saints stealing the show, Mario Bates squirting through 49ers, 106 yards on the ground, 11-7. The Saints in an upset.
Green Bay at Detroit. Big day for the Lions in the Silverdome. And Herman Munster Moore will take this pass from Scott Mitchell and go 69. That's right, count him, 69 yards for the touchdown. One of 3 receiving TDs for Moore on the day. Detroit beats Green Bay 24-16.
Tampa Bay and Houston, and whoa, another long day for Trent Dilfer. He passed for just 82 yards, and he was picked 3 times, twice through the game. On the other end, Chris Dishman got him. This one kind of putting the ball game away. 19-7, Houston over Tampa Bay. The Bucs are 5-4.
Dallas at Atlanta in prime time. Prime time makes this long-awaited debut for the Cowboys. But it's the combination of Irvin and Aikman. Comes through again. What a catch by Irvin. 44 yards for the touchdown. Dallas 28, Atlanta 13.
He's the new starter for the Browns today and maybe for the rest of the season. Eric Zier, the rookie in there, did a good job, 310 through the air. But look at Klingler. There's a touch to Carl Pickens for a touchdown. And that forced overtime with Jeff Blake on the bench all racked up and all knocked woozy. Matt Stouffer, though, winning it from the Browns from 28 yards out, 29-26 in the OT.
The Rams at the Eagles in problems with the artificial turf? So what's new at the vet? Chris Miller trying to rally the Rams. Right here, he's hit. He fumbles. And big Kevin Johnson picks up the ball. He rumbles. He makes a move. He goes left. He goes right. Now, that's a 300-pounder that can dance on a light bulb. Philadelphia 20 and St. Louis 9.
As nimble as Mark May. Never was. All right. St. Louis and Philadelphia. Or the Jets at Indianapolis. Either one. Take your pick. We are driving for a tying touchdown late in the half. Bubby Brister's picked by Eugene Daniel. And Eugene Daniel has a convoy of blockers. Eugene Daniel up the field. He goes 97 yards on the return, breaking Rick Volk's old record of 94 yards set way back in the 60s. Indianapolis 17-10.
Carolina at New England. Patriots running back Curtis Martin from University of Pittsburgh goes in from 2 yards out to tie the game at 17, and we go into overtime where John Casey makes up for his 2 earlier misses by hitting a 29-yard field goal for the win. Carolina 20, New England 17.
Jacksonville looking for 2 wins over the Steelers this year. Chad Brown not in there. Rod Woodson not in there. John L. Williams in there. Nice grab for the touchdown from Neil O'Donnell. 24-7. It's the Steelers avenging that earlier loss. And we have to take a break. Coming up on the show, key injuries and losses for the San Francisco 49ers. Also, Deion's big day. Kevin Kiley tells us about that as the Fruit of the Loom halftime report continues. 24-6, the Giants over the Redskins at RFK. We'll be right back. 6 is the score from RFK Stadium, and the set is a little more crowded now. Our friend Kevin Kiley joins us. And Kevin, what a big sports weekend for you here in Atlanta. Game 6 of the World Series last night, and then you see Deion's debut. And going into this game, a lot of people were wondering, should Deion Sanders play offense for the Cowboys in his debut? Barry Switzer never hesitated.
No, he didn't, you know, and I was wondering about that, whether or not Deion Sanders was an offensive player. Before the game, I spoke to the Atlanta head coach, June Jones. He at one time had Deion. He said if he had Deion back, he would make him primarily an offensive player, would just play him on 3rd down on defense. Says he scored every 5.5 times that he's touched the ball. And really, when you talk about Dallas, there's no controversy there about whether Deion should play offense. They're just having a good time trying to get number 21 the ball.
we did throw 2 post routes to him, and Troy went to Michael on one of them, and he was running wide open, and so we've said, hey, let's call that one again. So we did, and Troy led him just a little bit too far inside, and if he hadn't, I think he'd catch it going away.
What about your role on offense?
I'm happy with it. I mean, they can't do the things they usually do to Mike Irvin, double cover him. I mean, when I went into game every time, I mean, people were screaming off the sidelines, watch Dion and watch Dion. That's all we're focused on. When you watch Dion, that's when Emmett hits you. That's when Jay or Michael or any of the other offensive forces we have.
Well, I was standing on the sideline, and I can vouch for Dion. That's all they said. Watch Dion. They ran a fake reverse to him. It opened up Michael Irvin. 10 catches, 135 yards. You'll see more of Deion Sanders on offense for the Cowboys, and they all expect, as I do, that he's going to score from a long way out.
Well, while the Cowboys were celebrating another win cross-country in San Francisco, a very grim day for the 49ers, who not only lost a game, but lost a couple of starters as well, in Brent Jones and William Floyd. And we have the tape to prove it to you. Jones caught a pass in the first quarter, and as he was being tackled, you see the right knee bend in a way that it really shouldn't. Ligament damage there, and then a more gruesome injury. William Floyd trying to make a tackle on an interception. His knee is also bent backward, both with knee damage, and according to the 49ers now, most likely out for the remainder of the season. They will have MRIs done on Monday. But Mark May, I have to ask you, for a team that lost its quarterback and the MVP of the league, what kind of an emotional hit is this for the 49ers?
Well, the defense and special teams are going to have to pick it up. I've been in this situation before in the past, but not as many offensive starters who are out, especially key offensive personnel. Your quarterback, your running back, your tight end, they're instrumental parts of this offense. You get in the huddle and look around, and you don't know anyone in the huddle. With the advent of the salary cap, you're going down to rookies, journeymen in the NFL to back up these players. So, hey, you're going to look in the huddle, and you're going to look for each other for inspiration. There's no one there.
Yeah, that November 12th matchup between the Cowboys and the 49ers sure looked one way in preseason, looks another right now. All right, the Fruit of the Loom halftime report is just about wrapped up for you. We'll see the second half with Vern and Pat momentarily.
Announced that an NFL Charities grant was made to the local Lombardi Cancer Center, making the NFL's total commitment to this cancer research facility more than $2 million. Since 1973, NFL Charities has made grant commitments of more than $17 million to worthy national causes. Now let's take a look at the Riders game summary, 24-6, as we get set for the third quarter of play. The turnover story, Pat, really significant.
Yeah, you look at Washington, 4 turnovers, and they turned those into 17 points, 17 of their 24 points. Now, the Giants returned the favor. They fumbled the ball twice, but they didn't give up any points, and that really has been the story of this game so far.
Both quarterbacks with, well, not modest numbers. I mean, look at Farad, 208 yards in the first half, but 3 interceptions. And Dave Brown played well.
Dave Brown did play well, had a ball drop, but Farad, of the 3 interceptions, you'd say really only one of them was his fault. I mean, Logan dropped the ball, and he had one that was just kind of rejected by Strahan returned.
Here's Murray's kick. Herschel Walker gathers it in at the 12. And he moves it out near the 31-yard line. Tackle is made by William Bell.
Well, the other story for their Giants and their 24 points is they've been able to stay in their game plan this year. And in so many of their losses, and their 5, they've been taken out of the game quickly, and they could not run the football, and they've had to have Dave Brown really carry the entire load. But from the very beginning tonight, starting with a defensive interception, and then their first series, Rodney Hampton got it going early and has made Dave Brown a much better quarterback.
Giants open at their own 31. Walker, the short back of the 2. Hampton behind him. Rodney Hampton, who earlier tonight became the all-time career rushing leader of the New York Giants. That's his 12th carry tonight. 62 yards.
An injured Giant. It's Brian Williams. Mentioned Doug Riesenberg, the tackle, was hurt in pregame warm-ups. Now their center, Brian Williams, goes down.
Well, they'll send the training staff out to work with Brian Williams. We mentioned how significant the turnovers were in the first half. They really played a role.
Yeah, this was the first one. Vincey Glenn, number 25, the free safety for the Giants. And that ball, one that should have been caught. This one, it was probably Farad's fault there, right to Sparks, who was wide open for the interception. This was the rejection and a tip ball by Jamal Duff. Michael Strahan, the big old defensive end. And here was the fumble. He was stripped by Betsy Glenn, who has been all around the ball his entire career, and again tonight.
Brian Williams, the injured Giant, receiving medical attention, and time has been called as Williams sits at the 33-yard line.
Now, the other thing, the Giants have made this a toe-to-toe physical game, and that is not a good matchup for the Redskins. They're not that kind of team.
Dan Reeves looks on. Time has been called, so we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Must sit out for at least a play, but apparently is going to be all right. We'll get confirmation of that from the Giant bench. Adam Schreiber has taken his place, number 67 at center for the Giants. On 2nd down and 8 with a 24-6 lead. And a double tight end set. Kozlowski tight to the right. Aaron Pierce to the left side. This is Sherrard in motion. Rush coming. He gets rid of it. Finds Sherrard, who is cut down up at the 36-yard line. Dave Brown with a good job of staying in the pocket and in the face of pressure, getting rid of it.
Yeah, he is hanging in there. And this is one of the other things that Dan Reeves was saying is, I don't want him focusing on the rush. Well, he's not really here. He's able to slip one guy and still be able to get the ball with enough velocity to Mike Sherrard to make the catch. Another 3rd down for this Redskin defense.
And they are facing a team that's converted 4 of 6. This has been a real sore spot with Washington this year. But this time it works for them. Brown tried to slip it to Herschel Walker. Redskins were ready. Sterling Palmer, number 97, led the defensive charge. Ken Harvey was also there.
I think the Giants only had 1 punt the first half, but it was a poor one. Remember, you're so concerned. They were so concerned about Brian Mitchell returning the punt. Mike Horan just kind of punted it up, just straight up in the air. 1 punt for 36 yards.
Here's Horan's 2nd punt, way up in the air. Here comes Brian Mitchell, fair catch. That's only the 5th fair catch by Mitchell this season, but that's an effective way of preventing him from counterpunching the ball. Mike Horan's effective punt, but the Redskins have the ball.
By authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Washington Redskins and the National Football League is prohibited.
I was kind of looking forward to Don Harrison doing a little play-by-play there. He got that nice deep voice. Instead, there's a carry out to the 35-yard line by Terry Allen. 2nd down and 9.
Terry Allen really has been a factor in this game. You know, now he has 8 carries for 21 yards. And that was the thing that Dan Reeves was worried about. But the score has kind of taken him out of the game some too, Bernie.
Henry Ellard starts in motion, and Perrott back to throw. Good protection. Good coverage. And almost picked off for the 4th time.
Oh, Betsy Glenn again. This guy, no, he's not going to give it back to you. And he wants it. This guy has been incredible. Not only tonight, but his entire career. I mean, he's got 1 interception tonight, 1 takeaway on a fumble that he stripped the ball carrier of. I mean, some guys just have a feel, a sense of the game and where the ball is going. Read the quarterback Perrott the whole way. And actually, the receiver slowed down. Henry Ellard. He thought Henry Ellard was going to continue to run through that pass, but he didn't slow down. That gave Glenn a chance.
3rd and 9 now for the Redskins at their own 36-yard line. This one knocked away by Willie Beeman, number 21, intended for Winans.
Sure, I'm not sure Beeman ever saw that ball. It was a hard throw by Perrott, and Beeman, I think, got his arm in the way by accident. Watch number 21, Willie Beeman. Again, some pretty good inside pressure. Yeah, I don't think he really ever saw the ball coming.
I'm not sure he even touched it. At any rate, here is Matt Turk on to punt again, and Arthur Marshall waits near the 21-yard line. Good punt. Oh, boy. Whoa! Arthur Marshall to the 29-yard line. Darrell Pounds, number 31, had his hands on him, but Marshall broke the tackle, slipped it. Scott Turner finally made the stop. There is a flag down, and this will go against the Giants.
Illegal block in the back. Number 90 on the return. Half the distance to the goal line. First down. Timeout.
Corey Widmer is the man judged guilty of the infraction. Giants have the ball after the 50-yard punt.
CA Dome, the Colts and the Jets. Bobby Brister, late in the half, the flip to Eugene Daniel. And Eugene Daniel's looking for some touch, and he's looking for a Colt record on this return. He gets both. 97 yards for the score. Eugene Daniel and his friends, part of the practically amazing Isuzu play of the day.
24-6 Giants lead it with just under 12 minutes remaining third quarter. After the penalty, first down 10 at the 7-yard line.
And the Redskin defense has to do something here. They need a 3-and-out desperately.
Brian Williams back in at center for the Giants. Brown hands it off to his second back. That's Rodney Hampton. Out near the 12.
You know, he has not. That's his 13th carry of the evening, and he has not had a negative or no gain run yet. I mean, there's just been no penetration by the Redskin defense. They've been allowing him to get some momentum and some steam going, and that has been a big reason that the Giants are winning this football game.
And a 4-yard gain on first down, 2nd and 6. Tackle. Looked like it was Tony Woods, number 98. Yes, it was. And Rod Stevens, 99, in the way.
Well, we've talked about it all game.
Third down.
When these third down situations.
Here we are.
You know, there are a few plays every game that really set the tone for the rest of the half. And I think this is one of those plays for the Redskins, their defense. They absolutely need to force a punt.
Should be against the Giants. Sterling Palmer's sack should count. Holding, New York. Marcus Patton understandably says, I don't think we want to take the penalty.
And remember, the Giants have punted.
Number 78, offense. The penalty is declined. Fourth down.
The Giants have punted twice tonight. One punt was 36 yards. One punt was 31 yards. And even if Brian Mitchell's not returning the ball, he affects the special teams. The number 97 comes off the defensive end, or the tackle, I'm sorry, Greg Bishop, and makes the sack.
Horan's third punt of the night. Previous efforts in 36 and 31. This one farther. Mitchell, fair catch. So the third punt taken by Mitchell, 44 yards. We'll be right back. 10-17 remaining in the third quarter of play. The Giants up 24-6.
You know what Dan Reeves said to us last night, for us to win this game, we have to contain Terry Allen. Well, they've done that. 20 yards and 8 rushes. And he said we also have to stop Brian Mitchell. And they've done that pretty much in special teams. He said we need to slow down Henry Allard. Henry Allard has had a good evening so far. So they've done 2 of the 3 things they felt they needed to do to win.
First down and 10. Backs in the eye for Rod. Play action.
Man, he had him.
Logan.
So, geez. Take a fork in it.
Instead of a potential big gain, it's second down and 10.
He really is concerned about having his lips read.
Well, they keep monitors in the coaches' booths upstairs, and I think Norv is just afraid that the Giants will spy.
That doesn't go on in the...
Oh, no.
No.
I
Well, former Redskin coach George Allen was one of the best.
Absolutely he was. That one up the middle across the 50 to the 45-yard line. Terry Allen, number 21. Remember, George Allen accused Bucko Kilroy, who was then employed by the Cowboys. Bucko Kilroy must have weighed 320 pounds, and George Allen accused the Cowboys of spying on him when he was with the Redskins. He said he found Bucko Kilroy up in a tree.
He imagined a lot of things, I think. Here he is. He's got to go now. 2 straight runs. Terry Allen has kind of gotten it going like he did earlier this year. And he and Vincey Glenn, former teammates at Minnesota, jawing at one another. I mean, he can do it a couple different ways. He can bounce it outside, he can cram it inside, or he can give you a burst as he does right here. Good blocking by the Redskin line. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of daylight, but he has gotten some in the last 2 runs.
First down at the 30. Perrott screen pass. Gee whiz, the Jesse Armstead read that one on Scott Galbraith all the way.
Jesse Armstead. Remember Mike Nolan and Dan Reeves were both saying about Jesse Armstead? You know, he is playing the best of any of our linebackers. Number 98. Kind of early in the year was just a special teams guy, and then was kind of sharing the position with Mike Kroll. But the backside has to stay disciplined for reverses and screens and things like that, and that's just what Armstead does there. That's a heck of a play.
Second down, 13. Allen down to the 30. Well, Eddie Murray has kicked 2 field goals tonight, but that is not what they need. They are in rather desperate need of touchdown.
Well, the guy I try to give a chance to is Henry Ellard. I mean, he already has 95 yards receiving tonight on 5 catches, and you know, he has been open a lot. And we said Norv Turner generally, until you stop a guy, he's going to keep using him. He used him early in the game, but we have not seen him recently.
3rd and 10. Blitz coming from the Giants. Protection has a man. Ellard first down at the 15.
You just keep going to a guy until you stop him. He comes up limping, and this is a guy that's been incredibly durable. He's not going back in. Again, with Henry Ellard, you're never sure which way he's going to break. So when he gets the body lean going, then you go. But that's how he creates separation out of the break. He was covered going into that break, but open when he came out of it.
He'll get a rest on the sideline with an injury. Orlando Truitt is in. First down. Here's Brian Mitchell out of the backfield. And he bangs it down near the 10-yard line. Well, Henry Ellard is now over 100 yards. 6 catches for 110, but frustrated by the injury.
Nearly 12,000 yards, over 700 catches. You know, again, astounding his yards per catch. A year ago, it was almost 19 yards. This year, 18 yards per catch.
2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground again. Mitchell down near the 6-yard line. That'll be just short of a first down. Ray Agnew, number 93, makes the tackle.
Well, in the first half, the Redskins could not run the ball. And in the first drive in the second half, they didn't run it well. But they've got it going in the second drive here in the second half. And they've done it with Terry Allen, and this time with Brian Mitchell. Good block out there by Vernice Smith, number 61. Giesecke opened up a hole as well. And Brian Mitchell just kind of hugged that block.
3rd and 1. 24-6, Giants lead. Allen, 1st and goal, Washington.
Well, he talk about hugging blocks. I think it was Ray Brown's block on the pull that he just kind of grabbed onto his back and rode him for the first down. And you've seen a little bit of everything on this drive from Terry Allen in terms of different styles of run. You've seen him slashing, and you see the pull by the left guard. That's Brown, and he's going to put his left hand on him. He just follows that block, picks up the first.
Henry Ellard stays on the bench, being tended to by the medical staff. It's 1st and goal, Washington. They're going to reset the play clock to 25 seconds. 5:31 to go, 3rd quarter. Allen, ankle. The tackle made by Buckley.
Marcus Buckley, although I think he was down on the ground, just on his back, just kind of reached up and grabbed him around the ankle.
Dan wants to go down and talk to him. His cord won't stretch that far.
What's number 55 in blue? He's down, spins. Well, I guess he really didn't get his hand on it. I take it back. It wasn't such a good play.
No.
So there.
2nd and goal. They step it inside. Touchdown. Mark Logan, number 20.
And I think they'll go for 2 here to try to make it 24-14.
Logan gets the touchdown, his first on the ground this year. And the Redskins will go for 2.
They have not attempted a 2-point conversion yet this year.
Three of 5 last year. Mitchell is in. Olanda Truitt comes left side. They don't have Henry Ellard available on this play. Barrott. Oh, boy, is he dunked.
Ouch.
And he's down. That was a loose ball, and Joe Patton picked it up. Barrott is still down at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, boy, did he take a shot that he could not see or even feel. Now, sometimes when you have courage in the pocket like Gus Frerotte does, you hang on to the ball, wait and wait and wait, and that's what happens.
Applies on the extra point. The point is no good.
Now, he's going to be looking over here as right. I think he was trying to get the ball to Brian Mitchell and was just waiting and waiting, and then no chance. Strahan makes the hit. So Strahan's had a big stop on a 2-point play. He's had an interception. And he's played a pretty good ball game.
24-12 time call. Line, he did trot off without assistance, having taken that shot from Mike Strahan in the back. Henry Ellard questionable for his return. He's got a strained hamstring that happened on that 3rd down catch. And really tough news for the New York Giants. Their defensive back, Maurice Douglas, out of the game and for a while with a broken right fibula. Here's the kickoff. Herschel Walker at the 10. Herschel Walker bounces off a tackle and moves it out to the 38-yard line.
Let's go back to the 2-point play. Michael Strahan against Joe Patton. Joe Patton, the left tackle right here, just, has a whiff. Just misses Strahan, and that's what gets his quarterback. And Norv Turner was saying to us, there's the shot. Norv Turner was saying to us this week that, Joe Patton is filling in for Jim Lachey, but he said every 3 or 4 plays a game he gets beaten badly, and he was worried about his quarterback's blind side.
Barrott still trying to shake it off. He'll rest for the moment and hope his defensive teammates can get it back. Here's play action, Dave Brown. He's hit, fumble, picked up.
His arm
forward motion.
Yeah, his arm
Bob McElwee immediately called forward motion.
Yeah, that's the right call.
So bring it back. Yep, Dan Reeves is going to get some satisfaction here. The Redskins and their fans will not.
Motion of the arm.
Mark Botte picked it up.
Incomplete pass.
Okay, that's what Bob McElwee sees, and we'll get a chance to look at Dave Brown, see if his arm is moving forward. I think it was. I think his arm is moving forward. You care to disagree? You look like you're grimacing over there.
I don't
it's okay
grimace.
to disagree.
No,
it's okay.
I don't grimace.
I still think his arm is moving forward. Okay. Take a position one way or another, Vern. Okay, you're saying no. We have a...
The pickets in this fence are hurting. Second down and 10. I feel strongly both ways. Well, I'm in Washington after all. I'll take a solid stance on that. What do the polls show? There's a flag down. Against the Giants.
Pass interference, number 80, offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Called on Chris Callaway.
Yeah, Chris, clearly Dan Reeves does not agree. He liked that last call. He didn't like that one. Number 80, top of the screen. They're saying he's pushing off. Well, no, he gets jammed there. That's past the 5-yard mark. And yet they called that on Chris Callaway.
And that moves it back inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, well, what Dave Brown has to be realizing, you're playing with a lead. You're playing with a 12-point lead. Don't do anything stupid. No sacks, no turnovers.
Second down and 20. Brown pulls up. Good downfield coverage. Now he's freelancing, and it's almost picked off. Walker did a good job of preventing the interception.
He did. And that play, I'll tell you who else did a good job. Tom Carter stayed at home. Dave Brown was going to roll to his left and throw the ball back to Herschel Walker, but Tom Carter, number 25, was not fooled. Just stayed right at home. 34 is Herschel Walker on the right of the screen. Now, see, he's looking for him there. He can't throw it to him because Carter's there. And now he should have just thrown this one away. Should have thrown that ball away. Yeah, he realizes. He realizes he got away with one.
Third and 20. No blitz. Aaron Pierce, the tight end, short of the first down at the 39-yard line, and the Giants will be forced to punt. Brown is hurt.
Tell you, there have been some guys limping off this game. You mentioned Maurice Douglas, Gus Frerotte a little while ago. This time Dave Brown, I think he takes a shot in the knee. Ouch.
Oh boy.
Ouch by Ken Harvey.
Yep. Looked like it was hyperextended.
Man, I mean, you have to be mentally tough and physically tough to play quarterback in the NFL. But that was an awkward shot that he took from Ken Harvey.
Mike Horan, Brian Mitchell. Mitchell has to call for a fair catch again. That is the third fair catch tonight. Now let's take a look at the Coors Light scoreboard and get you up to date on what transpired in the National Football League as we have reached the midway point.
Philadelphia kind of on a roll now, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Well, Dave Brown getting, how about San Francisco losing at home?
Well, that's a big win for Miami. Boy, did they need that one.
And Cleveland.
Well, Eric Zier had a big coup for over 300 yards in his first regular season start.
Dan Reeves trying to win an argument with Paul Betts, the back judge. And after the 48-yard punt, down. Frerotte, incomplete. Galbraith claims that he was held up by Michael Brooks. Norv Turner, graduate of the University of Oregon. He was a reserve quarterback to a guy named Fouts out there with the Ducks. Yeah. Matter of fact, when Norv was an assistant coach with the Rams, having served with Southern California for a while, and a job opened up with the Dallas Cowboys, Danny Fouts called Jimmy Johnson and said, let me tell you something about my buddy Norv Turner. He'd make you a good one. And he did. Second down and 10. Incomplete. Near side. intended for Coleman Bell, number 87.
Henry Ellard's still out of the ball game right when they need him. You saw number 80, Alanda Truitt, in the ball game, and this is the type of game down 24-12 late in the third quarter where you need Henry Ellard. Remember Michael Westbrook out of the football game, out of the game for about 4 weeks, the 4 next games, and now Henry Ellard out with a hamstring as well.
Henry Ellard.
He's not coming back.
Nope. When he made that third down catch for the first down, he knew immediately the problem. He threw his helmet back on the field in frustration. Blitz coming. Farad. Leslie Shepard makes the catch. That's going to be close.
Might have been picked off. It may have been wrestled away by Thomas Randolph. Okay, they're calling it a catch.
That's terrific. He is such a loquacious guy.
Yeah.
We enjoyed chatting with him yesterday.
Well, he stole a ball earlier in the game, Vincey Glenn, and now Randolph, number 23, tries to.
Oh.
I'm not so sure he didn't there. I'm not so sure that wasn't a steal.
Those pickets aren't hurting as much anymore. I'm climbing off the fence.
There you go.
Yeah. Take a look at that again.
Randolph? Well, he's still moving. Shepard's still moving around. See, I don't think at any point was Leslie Shepard down on the ground. I think that was a theft by old Thomas Randolph.
Well, Dan Reeves obviously thought so. So did Vincey Glenn. Vincey's still arguing his case.
Well, he set the tone for this entire game tonight with his interception for a touchdown.
Tonight, the MetLife blimp Snoopy 1 is cruising the skies above Washington, D.C. The MetLife blimp. Guess how many cubic feet of helium?
A lot.
Nah, that doesn't suffice.
What's the difference between Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2? Do you have any? How can you tell the difference?
Answer my question. 70,000 cubic feet of helium. It measures almost 50 yards in length, and that is from nose to tail, and it provides those kind of beautiful shots.
Yeah, those are pretty.
Yep.
Great city.
Farad on first down. Dropped.
Uh-oh. Guess who was dropped by?
Logan. That's 3 tonight.
Yeah, it's been a tough one. Tough one. And he
Jesse.
came into this game as a pretty reliable receiver. Their second leading receiver coming into the ball game with 19.
And with Ellard out for the remainder of the night, they need guys like Logan to step up, make catches like that.
That or Coleman Bell, the tight end, the receiving tight end, has to step up and make some plays.
Titus Winans is in now, number 83. And here's Terry Allen out near the 31-yard line. That's a gain of about 6. Gain of 6.
They're still in the third quarter. Terry Allen still is part of this ball game. I mean, you don't have to be throwing every down, and Terry Allen has run much better in this second half than he did the first half. He has 54 yards now. I think he only had 20 in the first half.
And another third down now for the Redskins in the second half. They've done quite well. Third down and 2. Reverse. Shepard. First down at the 39-yard line. Willie Beeman there defensively, number 21. And we have 69 seconds remaining. Quarter number 3, 24-12.
A good fake really got this thing started by the Redskins. The fake to Mitchell. That got everybody moving to their right. Kind of an interesting call on 3rd and 2. You generally see these kind of on first down plays, reverses. But Norv Turner is, he could be called an unusual play caller. He does a lot of different things, and a reverse on 3rd and 2 is an unusual call.
Tom Randolph, the second-year man from Kansas State, back at the 50-yard line. That's where the injury took place, well away from the play. So the clock stopped with 1:01 remaining in the third quarter. On November 8th, TNT takes NFL fans where they have never been before. Don't miss 6 days to Sunday. That's a unique behind-the-scenes look at the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings as they prepared for their Sunday night showdown back in September. Premieres Wednesday, November 8th on TNT. Now, I pose a question to you.
You know the answer?
Yes, I do. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Then
no.
You can't ask
me.
It's a rule.
How much of your conversation with Denny Green will wind up on the cutting room floor in that program?
Probably a lot.
I thought it was a very persuasive conversation.
Did you?
Yeah.
It actually is going to be. I'm looking forward to seeing that show.
I am too.
Yeah. I mean, it was a game we covered.
And they were granted almost unbelievable access.
Yeah, from the very beginning of the week. And remember, it was a good ball game, too. An overtime game won by a run by Emmitt Smith. I think it was like 30-yard run in overtime.
So that's coming up. First down 10. Thomas Randolph out. Willie Beeman in right corner now. Here's Farad with a play fake. Deep right side. Shepard's open. Got it!
They're making plays at critical times is a test to the quarterback. And Gus Farad, when his team needs it, down by 12. And Henry Allard's out of the ball game. Michael Westbrook is out of the ball game. But you find Leslie Shepard for a big game of 45 yards. That was a pretty good adjustment by Shepard. And a good catch. Free safety not to be found. Actually, if the ball was thrown inside and deeper, it would have been a touchdown.
Flags will nullify this play. Dead ball foul of some sort. Usually,
Ball start. Yep. Prior to the snap, number 61 offense. 5 yards, first down.
You're a lip reader, and he said, I don't agree with that call.
Well, he
yeah.
He forgot to put that play card up.
Did. Good adjustment there by Shepard, but had Farad thrown that ball a little farther and a little more inside, it would have been a touch.
5-yard penalty on Vernis Smith, and that is the end of 3. Norv Turner has an eloquent way of describing his feelings. We'll be back right after this. We start the fourth quarter with an example of how technology has no limits.
This is illegal in certain parts of Utah.
Here's first down. Farad drills it. Caught inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. Winans, number 83, the second-year man from Fresno State.
And Gus Farad continues to make plays. At the bottom of the screen, Winans. That's a heck of a catch and a good adjustment because he was pretty well covered.
One catch coming into tonight, and Winans has caught 2 for 28 yards. Second down at the 9. No, it's Brian Mitchell with nowhere to run.
But although I think the running of the Redskins this half has been much more effective than it was in the first half. Terry Allen had a real good series in the third quarter, and Brian Mitchell's had a couple of good runs as well. And it's third down here, obviously down by 12 points. They're thinking touchdown, and they may use 2 downs to get it if they need to.
Farad into the corner, incomplete. Randolph defending, intended for Titus Winans.
Thomas Randolph is a good cover corner. And Mike Nolan, defensive coordinator, was talking about him, saying, hey, not the most physical guy in the run game, but he can cover people, and he did right there. Very well. Got his head around, so it wasn't passing. He sure did get his head around. Went right off his helmet.
Eddie Murray is going to try the field goal, his third of the night. He's hit from 47 and 52. By the way, Mark Mosley, longtime place kicker for the Redskins and the last of the straight-on field goal kickers, is here tonight covering the game for a local television station. And Eddie Murray has knocked it home for the third in 3 attempts tonight. This one from 27 yards out. So that narrows the margin. It's 24-15. 24-15, 13-36 at RFK Stadium. A couple of guys of average height, and sometimes in facilities like this, it pays big dividends. It's a little bit like a bunker in here.
Yeah, it is.
And I think the guys of average height, and sometimes in facilities like this, it pays big dividends. It's a little bit like a bunker in here.
Yeah, it is.
And I think the Redskins have gotten right back in this thing, Pat.
Yeah, well, Gus Farad has played very well this game. He had some interceptions that weren't his fault, but he's thrown for 290 yards already tonight, and there was still most of the fourth quarter remaining, and he can still use Terry Allen. It's a 9-point game now, and Terry Allen's got it going, so the Redskins have a chance of coming back and winning this thing.
And the Giants, no first down, 16 total yards in quarter number 3.
Yeah, who would have thought after the 4 turnovers they'd have a chance to win the ball game, but they will here in the fourth quarter.
Tyrone Wheatley with the kickoff return, and a pretty good one it was out to the 27-yard line. Well, we mentioned Mark Mosley in attendance tonight. There's Mark. Still lives in Washington, D.C. His son, as a matter of fact, Mark Jr., is a sophomore at a high school with a terrific athletic program and a good football team. I was talking to Mark before the game. Yes, his son kicks it straight on. And,
well, he's still playing. He is playing semi-professional football for the Fredericksburg Generals
in Virginia.
Yeah, in Virginia. He's 4 of 6 this year. He made every extra point, but he's still kicking.
One of a number of names that surround this stadium. Wheatley is in with Walker. Brown is down. Tony Woods got him.
With some help, I think. Was it Sterling Palmer? But Dave Brown, this is where he needs to make some critical plays. It's one thing to throw completions. It's another thing to make the critical plays. And when they won those 6 games at the end of the year, last year, he made critical plays and played consistently, and they really need that from him in this fourth quarter.
2nd and 16. Marshall, Callaway, and Mike Sherrard, 3 wide receivers in. Ken Harvey coming with a bull rush. Screen pass. Aaron Pierce, right side. It's really a one-man screen pass. He had only one blocker out in front.
It was Lance Smith again. Yeah, Lance Smith. But a hustling Marvcus Patton, number 53, I think really stopped what could have been a pretty big play. Giants do not have a first down in this second half. And they had a lot of them in the first half.
3rd and 8. Blitz. Incomplete.
Now, one of those critical plays you have to make, Vern. And you feel and you sense this game slipping away from the Giants. And they have stopped Brian Mitchell so far, but once again, he steps center stage, and he'll be a factor.
No returns tonight. He's had 3 fair catches, 1 kicked out of bounds. But he is averaging 22.9 yards per return. Now we'll see if that roller pin worked on Haran's leg.
But he has forced 2 short punts, Mitchell has.
Is he going hitchhiking? Oh, boy.
That was Jesse Armstead again. I mean, this guy has really played well, and they have done that job. They've wrapped up Brian Mitchell one more time. It's ready. I'm ready for Halloween.
1 second shy of 12 minutes remaining in the game. And a Halloween spirit pervades this place. First down and 10. Farad, play action. Lots of time, settles for Logan. Breaks a tackle. sidelines to the 47-yard line. 48 make it before Felipe Sparks knocks him out of bounds.
Boy, the momentum of this game has changed, and it started in the second drive of this half with the Redskins. When they got the running game going, and then when you did that, you get the play-action passes here. And they've been trying to get the ball to Mark Logan all evening on these little kind of passes because he can break some tackles. He catches that one and then picks up 22 yards.
At the 49. 11 and a half to go. They hand it off to Terry Allen. Spins across the 50 to the 49-yard line.
And Gus Frerotte has set a career passing mark. It was 270 yards coming into the ball game, and he has 312 tonight. Got to be impressed with him. He certainly hasn't laid down and quit.
On second down. He'll take off. Caught by the shirt sleeve. And it'll be third down. Ray Agnew, number 93, made the grab.
Now here's where Brian Mitchell, you know, he is the all-purpose yardage leader in the NFL. But he really has had a rather quiet evening tonight as the Giants have done a great job against him in special teams, and he really hasn't been much of a factor on third downs.
3rd and 5. Shepard, that's good for the first down at the 39-yard line.
And boy, was that a good throw by Frerotte. I mean, a blitz by Vincey Glenn. Brian Mitchell got to Glenn, but it was a little bit late. He felt it, he hung in there, and he delivered the ball. He anticipated the route, and even though it's only a short gain of 7 yards, you know, that's a heck of a throw. I mean, you learn a lot about a guy hanging in the pocket like that. Boy, another good adjustment by Shepard. It's twice we've seen him do that.
Gain of 7, good for the first down, just inside the 40-yard line. 4-man rush, 3-man this time. Oops. Frerotte gets rid of it. That'll be an incomplete pass. Michael Strahan, number 92, had him wrapped up.
Michael Strahan, number 92 right here, has had a very good game against Joe Patton, number 68. Twice he's beaten him quickly inside. Remember once in the 2-point play where he knocked Frerotte out for a moment? Or at least he stung him and hurt him.
That's that left tackle spot where Jim Lachey is out for the year with a rotator cuff. Lachey many times an All-Pro, and it's a troublesome spot for the Redskins. 9:32 remaining in regulation. Mitchell caught behind the line with a stiff arm. To Felipe Sparks. It'll be 3rd and long once again.
You know, a 9-point game. I think Gus Frerotte has to be thinking about, you know, a field goal here too. I mean, still plenty of time. 9:22. I think what he ought to be. You need 2 scores, right? So get yourself, you know, 5, maybe 6 yards. You don't have to necessarily pick up the first down. You'd like to, but you just don't take the sack.
How about the 3rd down conversion rate in this half?
6 of 8.
Leslie Shepard breaks and goes wide to the left. Henry Ellard on the bench with a hamstring. Frerotte deep right side. Nope. Nobody open. Here running. And he's got the first down. He wanted Orlando Truitt down the right side, but Truitt was well covered by Sparks.
Yeah, the coverage was great, but the contain was not. Containment was broken. You see, number 96 comes inside. That's Duff. He's supposed to have the outside. When he came inside, it allowed Frerotte to pick up the first down. I mean, you got to stay in your pass lanes, in your pass rushing lanes. And Jamal Duff got caught inside Vern, and that was the difference in the play.
7 of 9 on 3rd down conversions in this half. The game was 11. 8:33 to go in the ball game. And another dead ball foul.
Delay of the game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Norv Turner has said this week to us that Gus Frerotte has made plays in every game that he's played to give us a chance to win the football game. Now, they've only won 3 games, but he's given them a chance in all those games. And they've had 2 games, well, I guess 2 games decided on the very last play of the game.
Right. In Denver, they lost. Rod Smith made his only catch of the season in that game from Elway. And, of course, then last week when Darrell Green had the interception return for a touchdown in overtime. Here's Frerotte going deep, tipped and incomplete. Thomas Randolph. And they lost to Philadelphia in overtime as well. Randolph with the defensive job there.
Well, he is covered pretty well. Now he's coming out of the ball game. And I think you have to think about working on his replacement. Thomas Randolph, number 23, has made a number of good plays, and that's just another one. But he went out of the ball game, kind of limped off, and you know, you'd really like to try to pick on his replacement.
Willie Beeman is over at that right corner spot now. On second down. Catch Galbraith at the 23. The tight end, Scott Galbraith, makes the grab. That's going to move it inside the 25-yard line and set up another third down.
The other thing Gus Frerotte is doing, particularly this half, is reading the coverage. Right, he is throwing to the right guy, throwing it away from the defender. It was an easy catch by Galbraith, and now they face an important third down.
Action split. Frerodte's 41st pass at the 20-yard line. That will be short of the first down.
They need 2 scores, kick the field goal.
Yep, they're sending Eddie Murray back on.
No, and then they sent him off.
Aha. Now Norv Turner.
It's a 9-point game. You need 2 scores. Unless he's going to try to draw him offside. Is it all the time?
Well, they'll talk about it, obviously. 4th and 1. 6:57 to go. Norv Turner has decided, I think, surprisingly, to go for the first down.
I am shocked if he does. You know, he may try to draw him off sides, but you see, it's 4th and 2. Now, they're down by 9 points, so they need 2 scores. You should kick the field goal here. But he's kept his offensive unit here. Now, he may try to draw the Giants off sides and go on a long count and kick the field goal. But I think if they go for it, it's a mistake because they need a field goal here anyway.
Down by 9. 3 seconds shy of 7 minutes remaining. And they've got a pass play in, apparently, because there are no tight ends in the lineup. Well, now Bell splits wide left. They'll throw it. No, they won't. Sack.
That's a bad decision. You know, help me, Vern. I mean, you're down by 9 points. Help me. Yeah.
The math is you've got to have 2 scores.
Now, Norv Turner's a smart guy, and Norv Turner has won a lot of ball games, but you needed the field goal here at some point in the 4th quarter. They were clearly in field goal range, and that's the right call. Joe Patton, number 68, does a nice job this time. Strong inside rush. I think it was Stacy Dillard, number 71.
And Turner's reaction and that of Dan Reeves. And I'm surprised on 4th and a little less than 2 that they went for the pass play.
I can't figure that one out. I have to admit. Now for the Giants, this is where Rodney Hampton can really be a weapon. This is where he can take control of a game and run out the clock and run the table. He's done it in the past, but he's going to be running against an 8-man front, which he has done a lot of his career and still been successful.
2nd and 7, 6:23 remaining in the game. Long count by Brown. Across the middle and incomplete.
Well, this will be a 3rd down for Dave Brown. And Vern, Dave Brown doesn't need to have Dan Marino type of numbers. Dave Brown doesn't even need to have Phil Simms kinds of numbers, but he needs to make some critical plays. And you see what's happened, all the punts. And this is one of those critical plays that you have to make to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Farad still pondering what happened on that 4th and 1.5 or 2. And in the meantime, the Giants trying to convert their first 3rd down in this half. Remember now, they jumped out to a 24-3 lead, and they got there because of 4 turnovers early in the ball game. Walker at wide receiver. And Ken Harvey jumped offside, I think. Or was he drawing?
I think the Giants were moving.
Yep.
Dave Brown was moving. I think a lineman was moving.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, a critical error. Penalties in the 4th quarter have killed the Giants this year.
That's their 4th penalty in this ball game, but they came in with 55 penalties for the season, which is really a high number.
Yeah, particularly for a Dan Reeves team.
Right.
You know.
3rd down. 6:06 remaining. 24-15. Callaway, Sherrard both come to the near side. Arthur Marshall split wide right.
Dave Brown can take a sack, but he cannot throw an interception.
Lets it go, incomplete. Redskins will get it back.
That's the right throw there by Dave Brown. This is the absolute right play. Once you get out of the pocket, all you have to do is get the ball to the line of scrimmage or past or beyond, and it's non-intentional grounding. But they're giving Brian Mitchell one more chance to affect the outcome of the game. They've done a great job on him so far.
1 return thus far tonight. Mike Horan back to send it away. That will bounce in front of Mitchell. Wasn't pretty, but it was effective. Downright ugly, as a matter of fact. That was a homely punt.
No argument here.
Norv Turner talking with his longtime, well, not his longtime assistant. That's Jim Hannafin, longtime coach in the NFL and the former head coach of the Cardinals. It was Jim and Norv Turner who were talking about that decision to go for the first down during the timeout that they called. They're still talking about it.
Come on.
Here's Farad. Ball is picked up and caught. The tight end Coleman Bell, number 87. Well, I would expect if they go on and lose this game somewhere between 2:30 and 4 o'clock this morning, Norv is going to slap his head and say, what was I thinking?
Well, they still have an excellent chance of winning the ball game. You have a quarterback that is red hot in Gus Farad. There's 5 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the ball game. You still need 2 scores, but there is time to do it. And you've got Eddie Murray, who's had a big night as well.
The Washington Redskins trailed at one point 24-3. They have dominated in this half. They still trail by 9. Incomplete. Intended for Titus Winans and Tito Wooten.
We talked about Farad a couple of times in terms of the kind of night he has had. You know, 346 yards on 22 of 43, and this is without, again, Michael Westbrook. Henry Ellard got injured here in the 3rd quarter of this ball game, and yet he continues to roll.
Henry Ellard looks on. He's got 6 catches for 110 yards. 2nd down and 10. All the way back to the 31-yard line.
Willie Beeman off the corner. That's twice off the corner. Once it was Vincey Glenn who came. That time Willie Beeman. A perfectly timed blitz by Beeman and a good call by Mike Nolan, defensive coordinator. He almost, well, he did dodge the first one, but that gave Keith Hamilton and Jamal Duff time to make the sack on Farad. But good defensive scheme there on the blitz off the corner by Beeman.
4 sacks tonight. 3rd and 24. Deep left side. Oh, my goodness!
The and then I think he took it away from him.
And down by contact. It's Randolph.
Man, oh man, we have seen a lot. That ball was caught. It was perfectly thrown, and then Randolph took it away from him. An incredibly unusual night in terms of the type of turnovers we've had, Vern. Great throw, real good catch right there, and then he just takes it away. He did that earlier, and they took it away from him, and they wouldn't let Randolph. It didn't stand. That is not good. That is great defensive play by Thomas Randolph. He and Vincey Glenn have really had quite a night.
How about the concentration involved? That's extraordinary. Now, I have a question. Is that an interception or is it a fumble recovery?
I think it was actually a catch and a fumble.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess. I think he had possession.
I thought he did. They're saying it's an interception.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could argue that one.
In any event, the Giants have the ball because of that guy.
Oh, I think Randolph would argue that it was an interception, obviously.
That's what he wants.
Because he's probably got a clause in his contract that has nothing to do with fumble recoveries and everything to do with interceptions.
Boy, that's a good play.
Yes, it was, regardless. Second down. 2nd and 7. Brown, Hampton. And that is the first down for the New York Giant football team in this half. And Rodney Hampton got it. He's a little slow getting up. Matter of fact, he's gotten as far as one knee, and that's it.
Boy, this is the guy, though, you want in the ball game with 3:45 remaining, because he's the kind of guy that can run the table in terms of running the clock out. And now, you know, if you have a rookie coming in, if Tyrone Wheatley comes in, and he is, if you're Dave Brown, you say, make sure you hang onto that ball. We don't need an 80-yard run right now out of you. We just make sure you don't turn the ball over.
2 fumbles lost by the Giants tonight, but those happened well back early in the first half. 24-15, 3:35 remaining. 1st and 10, Giants. They lead at 24-15. Wheatley across the 50 to the 49-yard line. Rodney Hampton getting some medical attention on the sidelines. For an in-depth look at today's NFL action, stay with us for the Steel Pro Football Tonight post-game report following the game. Vince Cellini, Mark May, and Kevin Kiley will have the stories covered, and Ernie Johnson will have interviews with tonight's stars. 2nd down and 1. 2:45 remaining in this one. Wheatley gets the first down and a fresh set of downs at the 45-yard line. Redskins with 1 timeout left. The Giants have 3. They won't be in any hurry to use theirs.
Well, for the Giants, if they go on to win this, and they certainly should at this point, I mean, they had a game plan offensively and defensively, and it really has worked. I mean, all the things they wanted to do, the keys to the ball game, they were able to execute. And that guy, Vincey Glenn, had one heck of a game.
2-minute warning in this one. Welcome back to the nation's capital, where your tax dollars are at work.
That nose come off glasses.
1 week from tonight, check out the ultimate John Wayne movie. These guys don't star in it. It's called McClintock. This is the Duke the Way You Love Him, in a movie that hasn't been seen on television in over a decade. McClintock, next Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
Halloween just around the corner.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter for that group.
Yeah, they're always like that.
Yeah. First down and 10 at the 45, 24-15. Wheatley down to the 41-yard line.
You going out Halloween?
We're going to host the trick-or-treaters in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Yep, absolutely. You know, I've been coming here to watch football games since 1967. 28 years. That thing's been down there. I think they modeled that after Sonny Jurgensen's helmet.
No, Sonny only had the one bar, but nobody in the league has a face mask like that anymore. Oh, Sonny had that one bar. Remember that? He had a kicker's face mask.
You know, the first game I ever saw here, Sonny Jurgensen threw a touchdown pass to Charlie Taylor, left end zone.
Really?
And then that put the Redskins in front of Dallas, 14-10.
Dallas story.
And with about a minute to go in the game, Meredith hit Dan Reeves. 55 yards.
Gee whiz.
Yes.
Don't you ever forget any details of games? I can never remember anything.
Now, who's aged better, Sonny Jurgensen, Dan Reeves?
Well, they both look pretty good tonight. But that face mask, they have to change that one. That face mask, nobody in the NFL has a face mask like that anymore. That is a 1965 face mask, that one.
Mm-hmm.
And the kickers had the single bar, and everybody else has 2 or 3 or 4 different ones.
I saw Tony Zendejas wore that 2 weeks ago.
No. Tony had that one bar that was guarding his chin.
Oh, dear. Second down. Third down. There's Danny Reeves. 15 years a head coach now, player coach for Tom Landry in Dallas, then the offensive coordinator there. Actually got out of football for 1 year. He was a coach. He sold real estate in Dallas. 1973. Realized that wasn't what he wanted to do the rest of his life. Came back and then, of course, became the head coach in Denver and was there for 11 years. Now in his 3rd year as head coach of the Giants.
So he doesn't have a dramatic player with the Giants that he had with Denver in John Elway, but they played pretty well tonight.
33. Quigley. They got stuffed pretty well in the second half, but they had built up such a sizable lead at 24-6 at the halftime break that they are going to win their 3rd of the season, 3-5. Of course, last year was such a travail. They won their last 7, and for Norv Turner and the Washington Redskins fought back to make a game of it in the second half, but they're going to go at 3-2 at home and 3-6 for the season. And up next for them, a little jaunt out to the Midwest to take on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Boy. But they and the Cowboys have the best records in football.
Yeah, it looks like this year's game of the century won't be that 49er Dallas game after all. It might be on Thanksgiving Day. Kansas City at Dallas. And timeout has been called. Well, this is the final game for all of us at Turner. My first year of working with Turner and back with Pat again after a 9-year hiatus, and I can't tell you how much fun it's been to be a part of this whole operation and to work with you.
Thank you, Vern, and I feel similarly. We have a good crew. I want to thank everybody who's done a great job this year, and it has been wonderful to be reunited with you. We've had some fun, had some good games, and what do you say we do it again next year?
We've also had some bad games.
Yeah, we have to. And we want to wish the guys from ESPN luck. You know, they come on next week down in San Diego, and wish them well.
Another golden throat and another quarterback. So best of luck to Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann as they take over and head down the rest of the season. Absolutely.
He's got the right hat on.
Oh, hey. I don't remember talking to him in the production meeting. 4th down. First down.
That'll do it.
And our Cadillac player of the game for tonight. He opened the scoring with an interception that he returned 75 yards for a touchdown. He also had a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. 5 tackles in the game. Number 25 in his first year with the New York Giants, acquired in a draft day trade for the Minnesota Vikings. Our Cadillac player of the game, Vincey Glenn. Redskins fall to the Giants 24-15. Both teams have now won 3 games in the '95 season. Back with a final word in a moment.